Supposed to be a full house tonight here at Byrd Stadium. Big doings because in Atlantic Coast Conference play, since Florida State has come into the league, this club right here, the homestanding Maryland Terrapins, have never defeated the Seminoles. Tonight, they think they got a good shot at it before the home folks here in College Park. So, opening kickoff between Florida State and Maryland coming up shortly right here on ESPN.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Switch to Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service and give your business the lowest cost shipping on 2- to 3-day packages. You'll save so much with Priority Mail. You'll have enough left over to treat yourself. Spare change. Brought to you by the United States Postal Service.
I can't stay here another minute.
Not what you need to hear. Then Super 8's where you need to stay. As clean as can be 1,900 times over. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? For more cargo room. More people room. Or more headroom. Enterprise. So easy it's like having a second car. Or third.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Welcome to ESPN's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the United States Postal Service. Tonight, number 5, Florida State takes on the Maryland Terrapins. And as we mentioned, special doings tonight. Bobby Bowden's club in town. And when they took the field, they were booed soundly. But you got to not just boo them, you got to beat them. And, Mike, it's something that they have not been able to do. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried. The Terps do think they have a shot this evening. What do they have to do to pass the test tonight?
Well, Ron, Ralph Friedgen, when he's at Georgia Tech and now at Maryland, he's been able to put points on the board against FSU, 31 last year. But I really believe FSU is tired of hearing about the ACC championship being here at Maryland. They're tired of hearing about Miami, and I think you're going to see an FSU team that's going to make a statement tonight.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that. And Ralph Friedgen, second year last year, the National Coach of the Year. 11-3 overall as a head coach. And right now, let's check down on the sideline. Dave Ryan down on the sideline with us tonight. Dave, what do you have?
Okay, Ron, thanks so much. Bruce Perry, the star tailback of Maryland, still has not played a down of football this year. August 20th in preseason drills, an offensive lineman stepped on his foot when he tried to pop his leg loose, ended up popping a groin muscle. But good news, though, for Terps fans, he had an excellent week of practice. In fact, by Wednesday, announced he was ready to play. But Coach Friedgen told me before the game, trainers still have not cleared him, so he won't be in the lineup. But for the second straight week, he's fully dressed, looked very good in warm-ups. The FSU coaches approached me before the game and asked, will Perry be in the game? They're concerned he could return. One thing we know for sure, he'll be instructing the younger running backs, giving them tips on what he sees from the FSU defense.
Okay, Dave, the series in this one. Florida State has won all the meetings at an average margin of victory. Look at that, over 30 points per ball game the last time they played in Tallahassee. Tied at 31 in the third quarter. And for Ricks, 3 fourth-quarter touchdown passes. I think the mistake, Mike, that Maryland made in that one last year is C.J. Henderson almost knocked him out of the game in the first half. And when he came back to, he came on with a vengeance and played one of the best games of his life.
And he made his starting role there. He solidified it that night.
Saviad Bethia set to kick it off for Florida State. Suter, one of the deep men. And he has speed, a 4.35, a return of 81 yards of a punt return in last week's ball game. This one very deep and sails over Suter's head and out of the back of the end zone. So Scott McBride, who is a junior from Rockville, Maryland, but he started off his college career at West Virginia and is green when it comes to quarterbacks going up against a very veteran tough defense tonight.
And you talk about the key in the football game. He cannot make mistakes. He cannot lay the ball on the ground in the option play, cannot get picked off and get FSU a short field.
Chris Downs, number 20, will start it off at tailback. Chad Killian is the fullback. First play from scrimmage from the 20-yard line. McBrien fakes the run, throws on first down, has it complete, and that's Killian, the fullback that was just talking about, over midfield, and is finally tackled at the 41-yard line by Samuels. It's a gain of 39 yards.
Ralph Friedgen does a nice job of blocking the tight end and brings back Chad Killian out of the backfield. The tight end releases, now a linebacker's beat. McBrien just throws the ball over the head of the defender. Chad Killian's off, and nice field position for Maryland. Nice call by Ralph Friedgen and Charlie Tapp, the offensive coordinator.
Boy, the last thing that Florida State was looking for was Chad Killian, the fullback, to come out and be a pass receiver. So a gain of 39 on the very first play from scrimmage. And now for the 41. Option play into the boundary. This is Crawford, and Crawford hit hard as he picks up 1, maybe 2 yards on the play. And here are the specialists for the Maryland Terrapins. Downs, who just carried Killian, who had the pass reception. Scooter Monroe, very adept wide receiver. Keep an eye on him tonight. Dugan, a fine-looking tight end at 6'4", 261. And up front, Wyke, the center. It is his first season to start in that position. The gentleman he replaced is in the NFL. Tough duty for him, Mike. Second down and long. It's about 7.5 to 8 yards for the first. Short drop, quick look in, got it complete right over the middle, and that's Rich Parson, the sophomore out of Newark, Delaware. Gain of 15, and here are the starters on defense for this Florida State football team. Darnell Dockett, he comes back home. He's from Burtonsville, Maryland, and keep an eye on Alonzo Jackson on the right side. The linebackers, veteran and good, particularly Boulware. And in the secondary, you have to say these are the biggest question marks, right?
It's a question mark because they're playing a lot of zone this year. Florida State in the past has been a man team.
So it's a first down as the Terps move the chains again. And they have it just inside the 25 of Florida State. Crawford fights hard for 3 yards. Check it. Chris Downs, the ball carrier, the senior out of Philadelphia. And tackled by Kendall Pope, one of the linebackers.
Maryland will challenge FSU's defense in every way. And the defensive ends of Florida State, Alonzo Jackson and Kevin Emanuel, will get a workout tonight with the various ways they'll attack the defensive ends, including the option.
You could see Perry on the sideline, and you know he's dying to play, but he hasn't worked out, and you can't just come off the injured list without working out and play. Your timing is just totally off. 3 wide receivers to the bottom of the screen, and they come with the reverse. This is Suter staying at home, the defensive end, and now the quickness of this defense. He's knocked out of bounds after a gain of maybe 1 by Kendall Pope.
You always tell your defensive ends, and Alonzo Jackson stayed at home. Don't take the fake, stay at home. You're going to see number 48 right here. Stay at home. Now he's able to make that play on Suter until help comes to help him.
And Mike, you see him out there skating around, keeping his feet active. That's a 6'4", 250-pound guy. Very, very mobile, and a nice defensive play. Third down. They need to take it just inside the 15 of Florida State. Let's see if they look for Scooter Monroe. 4 wide receivers. McBrien deep in the court. Got a man open, and he just missed him. And that's who he was throwing for, Scooter Monroe, a returning starter, a senior out of right here in the state of Maryland. And now it's going to be time for Nick Novak to come in and try the field goal attempt.
Yeah, Rufus Brown sitting out there on the corner route. Beaten by Monroe, but throw just a little bit off to the left.
Novak is 3 of 4 on the season. This is going to be a 41-yard attempt. Bernard, the punter, to hold it, and it is blocked by Florida State. Scramble for it at the 30, at the 28-yard line, and it looks as though Ward is the man who came through and got a hand on it.
Now, Ron, when you block a kick like this, where you're dangerous is to come up right out and throw a bomb on you. Right here, coming through. B.J. Ward making the block. Now you got to worry about the long pass if you're Maryland's defensive backs.
You know, Mike, this is the 4th game we've done this year. I'm not sure this far into the season I've seen as many special team errors by everybody. Florida State comes with a reverse on first down. Out to the 40-yard line. And Willie Reed, the freshman out of Kathleen, Georgia, picks up 13 yards on the play. Chris Ricks, last year, was freshman of the year in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and he took his lumps as a freshman in a rough year for Florida State.
In this game right here, last year, he almost lost his starting job to McPherson. If he wouldn't have come back in the second half, I think he would have been replaced.
Henderson really rapped him, and he had to go out of the ball game, but then he came back and was on fire. Going to go with the draw play. Spinning off one tackler, Greg Jones, and that's going to be about it for the 250-pound tailback. Leon Joe makes the tackle. Here's the remainder of the starters. Jones and Dean, Anquan Bolden, Robert Morgan, the wide receivers, Patrick Hughes, the tight end, and up front on the offensive line. This is a really solid group. Montre Holland, the big tight guard out of Ore City, Texas. So it's 2nd down and 10. Ricks steps up, throws the safety valve, and that's Hughes, and the tight end will take it across the 46 to the 47-yard line. And we check the starters on defense for the University of Maryland. Roundtree and Cochran on the outside. They both have been steady this year. The linebackers, hey, it is all around this guy in the middle. E.J. Henderson, All-American last year and on most lists this year. And in the secondary, Foxworth and Jerome Cox. They're veterans, but boy, they'll be tested this evening. Madu Williams had 2 interceptions in last week's game.
Where Ricks hurts you a little bit, he's also an excellent runner out of the quarterback position.
Well, they need to take it to midfield. You can see where the ball is placed. You need about 2.5 yards. Maryland with pressure coming off the corner. They pick it up. Now Ricks is going to scramble. In trouble toward the sideline. Puts a head down. And did he get the first down? He stepped right on the 50-yard line. And that is enough for the first down. Pushed out by Ambush, one of the linebackers.
When we talked to Gary Blackney, the defensive coordinator from Maryland, he's worried more about Ricks running the football because he's a true 4.6 in the 40, has very good movement, smart guy, got the ball across the 50 for the first down.
And you have to consider when you're going to go up to hit him if you're a defensive back. Chris is 6'4", 210 pounds. Can be a load. 1st and 10.
Unbalanced line to the right.
From the eye. They're going to go on top from the I formation, and just a little bit overthrown for Anquan Bolden. And Mike, we talked at the production meeting today, and you pointed this out. When they go I formation like that, they're going to go downtown, aren't they?
I've seen them so many times. When you get into the I, it's a 2-man route. Only 2 receivers. Anquan Bolden, the leader of this defense, clearly is behind Dominic Foxworth for the big play, but Chris Ricks just threw it over his head. But you know one thing, Foxworth is worried about the speed of Bolden right now.
Has to be. Bolden gets a breather for a moment. 2nd down and 10. Even if you don't complete it, it sends a very loud message. It sure does. Quick pass in the flat, and the quick screen incomplete, in and out of the hands of Tallman Gardner, senior out of New Orleans, Louisiana. You see him pat himself in the chest. My bad. And he's right. He should have had that one, trying to run before he caught it.
FSU can do so many things. They got a great running back in Greg Jones. They can throw the ball and an arsenal of wide receivers, but they're choosing to come out and throw the football here against Maryland to set the tempo of this football game.
Because they ran so much, Mike, against Virginia, I think everybody took for granted that they're going to try to run the ball more this year, but that's not the case. You're right on it as far as the start of this ball game. 3rd down and 10. Ricks steps up into the pocket, going to run it. Goes down about a yard short at the 41-yard line. What do you do here? Do you go for it?
I think you might go for it here, right here. Florida State feels very strongly about their offense. They've got a big running back in Greg Jones, close to the 40-yard line. I have confidence in my offense.
You know, he went down about a yard short of the first down. And as I look back at the replay that we were working on here, number 42
he was
real close on the play, and I don't blame him. Might have gone down too. Irons and Hughes, two tight end alignment, fourth down. Greg Jones, right side, and the 250-pounder still fighting inside the 35, and he's down to the 33. It's a gain of 9, and that's Jamal Cochran holding on for dear life.
When you ask about what you do here, you got 4 senior offensive linemen. You got a big back, Greg Jones. You got a good fullback blocking ahead of you. So it's a pretty easy choice when you got those weapons.
Boy, the block that B.J. Dean, number 35, threw on E.J. Henderson was outstanding. The coaches will love that. 9th play of the drive coming up. They go 1st and 10 from the 33 of Maryland. Jones again. Nothing to the right. He'll take it straight up the middle. And this guy is so big and strong, he can almost fall forward for 4 and 5 yards at a time. Leon Joe makes the tackle.
Averaging 7 yards per rush. So every time he touches the football in the running game, he's averaging 7 yards. Here's his last 4 games. Virginia, what Virginia did is try to stop the pass. Al Gross said, you're not going to beat us with the long pass. So the poison was slow in the running game.
Paul Irons checks into tight end. 3 wide receivers, which leaves Jones alone in the backfield. But they'll give it to him anyway. Right up the middle, bounces it outside to the left. Puts a head down and may have a yard on the play, and that's about it. Nice job defensively, and that's Roundtree who comes up to make the tackle, the senior out of right here in Baltimore.
Roundtree is the strongest member of the Maryland football team. They say he holds all the records, strength records here, and I think of Randy White back in the Jerry Claiborne days. Randy White was a strong guy that went to the Dallas Cowboys, but he's broken all the records of Randy White.
So, Mike, let's see what happens here. 3rd down, and they need to take it to the 22.5-yard line. 10 plays on this drive so far. From the shotgun, right up in the middle, and out of the hands of Hughes. Good heavens, hit him in the wrong place, right between the 8 and the 2.
Yeah, Patrick Hughes, unless the umpire got in the way here, I don't know if he's got any excuses for dropping this football. No.
Leon Joe did jump up and may have, obstructed his vision a little bit, but probably should have gathered it in. Bethea to attempt. 2 of 3 this year. As long as 42 yards, and this is going to be a 44-yard attempt. So it would be a career best if he hits it. Plenty of distance on it, and Florida State is on the scoreboard, and a new record length as far as Bethea is concerned. So we'll take a timeout. 8:18 left in the opening quarter. Florida State 3-0.
Billy Gibbons, world-class car collector. Oh, he also dabbles in music. And he knows different players perform differently, like different engines. That's why he uses new, fine-tuned Quaker State higher mileage engine. It can help improve performance in older engines by restoring power.
Sure could use help changing my oil.
Ah, for the life of a rock star. For performance you can count on. Quaker State. Stay tuned.
The perfect micro-assassin. It will take 2 extreme agents to stop it. Antonio Banderas, Agent X.
That's how I deal with stress.
Lucy Liu, Agent Sever.
My turn.
Ballistic, X versus Sever. Rated R. Starts this Friday.
Men think about women every 5.3 seconds. Men think about soap? Probably never, because they're all the same, except this one. High-endurance deodorant soap made just for guys. Maybe now women will think about you every 5.3 seconds. From Old Spice.
Someone asked me once if I had my shirt special made. I told them I got mine like everybody else at Tractor Supply. For Wrangler jeans, Carhartt coats and workwear, Walls coveralls, plus clothes for the whole family. There's just no place that fits my life better than Tractor Supply. Heck, it's even where I go to get socks.
Tractor Supply. For 1 acre or 1,000, we'll help you get the job done.
What's this?
It's a credit card.
Okay. risk.
You have to open it up.
Introducing Discover to Go.
That's a crazy-looking credit card.
Wow, look at that.
A great new way to carry your Discover card.
Wipe it through there and there we've got it. There's a place for my keys.
I love it.
It's new. I figured that one out, Frank.
Very futuristic. Same account numbers, same cashback bonus program, but not like any credit card you've seen before.
So Florida State goes on top 3-0. And it's Sunday Night Football on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern. Rich Gannon and the Oakland Raiders head to Pittsburgh in the land of the Steelers. Cordell Stewart and Jerome Bettis looking to put that loss on Monday night behind them and get back on track. Coverage begins with NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite, 7:30 Eastern. For more on upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com, and the keyword is schedule. So Bethea sets to kick it off at the 35, and Steve Sugart is the deep man for the Maryland Terps. And as I mentioned on the opening kickoff, 81-yarder on a punt return last week. Really a speedy young fella. This may be returnable. Nope, not going to do it. 5 yards deep in the end zone. And let's check with Steve Levy back in the studio. Steve, what do you have?
Ron, thank you. Alabama and North Texas going at it. This is Ahmad Galloway from 2 yards away for the touchdown for Alabama. But North Texas comes right back. Andrew Smith to George Marshall. And this is a 12-7 game. As you know, Ohio was shut out last weekend by Northeastern. They have a 6 on the board right now against Florida. Ron and Mike, back to you.
Alrighty, and the rain starts to come down here at College Park. Right over the middle, McBrien, and he overthrows it. Intended for Jafar Williams. We thought this was going to hold off until around midnight this evening, and hopefully it is just a passing shower, but scattered thunderstorms is the trend of the day. In fact, all up and down the coast, I guess, because of the tropical depression.
Rained in Mobile, I know that. Hurricane Hannah came aboard in Mobile.
It rained in Columbia, South Carolina. Pretty good also. Second down and 10. And straight ahead with the running play. Good heavens, what a hit right at the line of scrimmage. And that's Travis Johnson, a big sophomore out of Sherman Oaks, California, who comes up and just engulfs the runner. No place for downs to go.
Excuse me, Ron. When you look at baseball, you're good at you got a good catcher, pitcher, and center fielder. And in football, the same thing. They got a new center in Maryland, new quarterback, and a new tailback in the ball game. So you're only as good as you are up the middle of a football team also. So offensively, they got a lot of young guys here.
We see number 66, Todd White, over the ball, a senior out of Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Florida State creeps the linebackers up tight, and they stay at home. And in the movement, as Florida State jumps off sides, and that's Darnell Dockett.
It's going to be interesting, Okie, because Scott McBrien pulled out, so they may call it on Maryland.
Dead ball foul, offsides by contact on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Jack Childress, the referee tonight from the Atlantic Coast Conference.
And to finish my thought, and they might call it on Florida State.
Mickey Andrews on the sideline. The veteran defensive coordinator for the Florida State Seminoles.
Got a barbecue restaurant now in Tallahassee, so all the coaches are opening up restaurants.
Bryant sets in the pocket, quick out in the flat, intended for Monroe, incomplete. And just a little too far ahead of him. He's really having to rush. He throws sidearm, but he also gets the ball away very, very quickly. We watched him on Thursday, Mike, and because of the quick release, he doesn't get the ball knocked down a lot.
Well, they talked about he's 6'1.5 inches, but the way he throws the ball, he throws it from 5'6".
Yeah.
But Dockett's going to knock him down there late. They're going to try to punish him tonight.
This is Brooks Bernard, who is an outstanding punter for the Maryland Terrapins. Waits for the snap at the 10, and this is not a good kick. This thing into the wind is just dying as it goes out of bounds just inside the 50-yard line. Kicking into a gale, and it cost him. We'll take a timeout. 6:55 left in this opening quarter. 3-0 Florida State.
For men, every morning it's the same routine. The desperate search for a way to relieve the pain after shaving. Finally, there's there's a better way to soothe your skin. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm is an advanced blend of moisturizers and vitamins that soothe and actually improve your skin. Nivea for Men. More evolved skincare.
What is wrong with you?
Is it safe? Yeah, but hurry. This better be quick. Come on, come on, come on. Whoa, there's no way we can beat Dollar's rates. Hey, how are ya? Meeting's starting, let's go. Yeah, I'm coming. Yes. Dollar.com? Yeah, from now on. I can't afford us.
When it's your money you're spending, log on for our lowest rates at Dollar.com.
How does your network handle roadblocks, hurdles, and the otherwise unexpected? Stay up and running with a system that's built to 5 nines of reliability. With an AT&T network designed to anticipate and avoid any obstacle, no matter what comes up, you'll still be marching on.
Get more than 100 additional games with the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package. It's Maximum College Football. To order, call your local cable operator, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the United States Postal Service. Brought to you by Quaker State. For performance you can count on, Quaker State. Stay tuned.
Well, that shot right there pretty much tells it. I mean, it is a gale right now. The wind, I don't know how strong it is, but it's really whipping across from behind, aiding Florida State to an extent. Nick Maddox is coming to the ballgame at tailback, replacing Greg Jones. He's the slasher where Jones is the big power runner.
Chris Ricks is a wide receiver now, so this is going to be a draw play probably.
That's what it's going to be. He'll take the direct snap, and here comes Maddox. Tries to get outside, and a really good open field tackle as he's going to be knocked down at the 50-yard line by Foxworth.
I like Maddox. Now, I talked to him at the hotel. Nick Maddox has been around here for a long time. Greg Jones has burst on the scene. But Bobby Bowden and the coaches at Florida State like this young man so much. They say he's like a piece of gold, Ron. He is such a team guy. He wants to do whatever he can do. Here's Chris Ricks, chicken fighting on the outside.
So now he'll go back under center, and Maddox lines up 7 yards behind him. And they'll give it to Maddox. Try to get into the open side of the field. Henderson missed him, turns the corner, and is not going to make the 45. Wow, he got blasted by Leon Joe. And let's check with Dave Ryan. Dave.
All right, Ron. The weather conditions have drastically changed, and guess who forgot the rain jacket down here? We only had about 40% for rain showers tonight. The wind right now is howling. It's about 25 miles an hour, and going with Florida State behind their back. We'll carefully watch the equipment guys. They didn't have a lot of plastic bags prepared to keep the balls dry. It's going to be a big factor. And keep in mind, Florida State is great on the ground. This is running weather, Ron.
Yeah, I'll tell you for sure. 3rd down, and they need to take it to the 42-yard line. Ricks sets in the pocket, going to run it. And he'll have the first down as he gets out of bounds, plus about 3 or 4 yards. Mike, let me ask you something. Early going to this ball game, but he really doesn't appear to be going through any kind of progression as far as looking at receivers. Or am I missing it?
No, that's a little concern about Chris Ricks because he likes to go down the field with the football and maybe not throw to the short receiver as much. But on that play, Ron, I thought he made a great decision because it opened up for the scramble and he knew he could pick up the first down, and he's dangerous that way.
3 carries for 18 yards for Ricks in the early going.
Play selection here, 10 rushes, 4 passes. Of course, a couple of those rushes were passes.
Maddox, left side, big opening, and he'll go inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line. E.J. Henderson making the tackle, the All-American linebacker from Maryland, trying to take the ball away from him.
Here's the great thing about Florida State's offense this year. You got Greg Jones, who is 250, and he can whack at you, and all of a sudden you bring Nick Maddox in. He's a jitterbug guy with great open field acceleration, so they got 2 different kinds of backs that you got to be prepared to tackle.
B.J. Dean, the big fullback, 5'11", 250 pounds, lines up in front of Maddox. Dean out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And he'll give it to Maddox. Right side, breaks it. Coming up nicely out of the secondary to make the hit is number 10, Madieu Williams. And Steve Levy, let's check with you again.
Ron, Alabama and North Texas, we showed you earlier, they're trading touchdowns. It's the Tide's turn. Santonio Beard from 3 yards away. Bama leads 19-7 as they approach halftime. Run a Mike.
All righty. Well, we're going to bring in the change from across the way to double check this and see if they do in fact have the first down.
North Texas returned 20 lettermen this year in the Sun Belt Conference, so they're, along with Middle Tennessee, are the pick to win that league.
As they stretch it out there, it is going to be enough for the Florida State first down. 4 minutes and 22 seconds for them to keep the wind.
Going back to Maddox, so you need that kind of player in your football team, Ron, a guy that's unselfish and just wants to do what's best for the football team.
Well, we've just been told that there's some lightning to the south, and I'm sure the officials will keep a close eye on that. Thorpe into the ball game, a sophomore out of Tallahassee, Lincoln. He is to the top of your screen, number 1. Greg Jones comes back in a tailback. Fake it to Jones. Ricks looking, gonna run it. Inside the 25, and he takes it down inside the 20. They're gonna spot him down at the 19, and Henderson tripped him up. Gain of 10.
Why this team is so difficult to prepare for, just look at this graphic and you see how the run in 1999 was only 29% of the offense. Now it's 63% of the offense. Now a lot of these pass plays that Chris Ricks has gone back to throw become runs because he takes off fairly fast.
Gardner goes to the top of your screen along with P.K. Sam, number 81. And you look into the eyes of E.J. Henderson. Second down and 1, and down to play with here. Blitz coming off the corner right at the middle, and it's the big guy, Jones, at the 10, and the ball is loose. They scramble for it at the 6-yard line, and I think Patrick Hughes, the tight end, got on it for Florida State. It should be a 1st and goal, Seminoles.
I think they caught Maryland in some kind of blitz here, some kind of line movement, because you could have taken a truck through this hole. Greg Jones, the big running back.
And they had a blitz coming off the
there was
the
nothing
corner
there. Wilson made the hit.
Cochran is the man who pulled him down. You could see as he was being tackled, the ball was being stripped away. So back to action, first down and goal from the 7-yard line. Jones, blocker in front, turns it up at the 6-yard line. Nothing doing. Nice job defensively. One of the first men there was Henderson to make the hit. Also, Leon Joe and Randy Starks.
E.J. Henderson was a running back in the high school along with being a linebacker. And I asked him, why did you choose linebacker over running back? He said, when they recruited me at Maryland, they said, you're going to be a linebacker. That's the end of it.
You know, also, you ask him, hey, did you play any other sport? He said, yes, sir. Basketball, 19 points, 12 rebounds. He had his stats right there.
Oh, he's got them all.
Ninth play of the drive. 2 tight end setup with Hughes and Irons, and Maddox back in at tailback. Maddox, he's going to throw the ball, looking for the end zone, and it is knocked away on a nice defensive play at the last moment by Carone Cox.
Took too long for this play to develop. Carone Cox, who's the best hitter in this secondary for Maryland, really recovered well because the play took too long. You see the wide receiver wide open, Robert Morgan. It took too long for Nick Maddox to get squared around to throw the football.
Well, Mike, you could see what kind of great athlete Carone Cox is. He really was well off the turf when he went up to knock that one down. He's coming off a severe injury. We'll tell you more about it in just a moment.
Well, here's Bolden. He's the leader of this team.
Third down and goal from the 7. And they go with the run. Left side, nothing doing. Maybe the gain of a yard, but Leon Joe was there to stop the run. And unofficially, we have Leon Joe for 5 tackles, and we still have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Leon Joe missed the first game because violation of team rules. 76 tackles for Joe last year.
You know, Mike, he's one of those kids also. He's a former running back at a 4.6 in the 40. He runs down plays from behind extremely well.
Yeah, he's like a linebacker, like a defensive back, 6'1", 220 with great speed. You're right.
Saviet Bethia to attempt a field goal, and the reason the officials took a little extra time is because of the attempt, and Florida State wanted to drive football. 23 yards on the attempt. Good pass. Kick is perfect. So we'll take a timeout. 1:51 left in the opening quarter, and it's now 6-0 Seminoles. We'll be right back.
Task number 12. Shag fly balls at any Major League Baseball batting practice.
So it's not possible at all. I see them come by and just bang it on the fly.
Very shagadelic, baby.
Every second counts.
Have no money. This is a whole new way to travel.
Introducing Beg, Borrow, and Deal, the new reality game show from ESPN.
You're homeless. Every 5 minutes, you have to start over and say, now what do I do?
All you do is cry. I cannot believe this.
The begging begins Tuesday, 8 p.m. on ESPN.
Mr. Big Volume has done it again. Tom Jumper Chevrolet, Georgia's #1 Chevy dealer, passes the volume discounts on to you. Over 1,000 new 2003 Chevys in stock and ready for immediate delivery, with Tahoes starting at $29,993 or $349 per month. Come see why over 100,000 satisfied customers come to Tom Jumper again and again and again. Tom Jumper Chevrolet on Roswell Road, 2 miles outside I-285 in Sandy Springs. Tom Jumper, Mr. Big Volume.
You'd never hear this from John, but he owns the best car repair shop in town. He's got a well-deserved reputation for getting it right the first time. He uses top-quality Napa parts, and he backs up his work every time. Now, as much as we'd like to take credit for it, a shop like John's isn't this good because there's a Napa sign out front. Fact is, there's a Napa sign out front because John's shop is this good.
For quality service and repair work you can trust, visit your neighborhood Metro Atlanta Napa Auto Care Center.
1953 was a special season for the Maryland Terrapins. In the first year in the ACC, the Terps won their first ever ACC title. Maryland finished the season 10-1, and they were named national champions. Quite a finish for the head coach, Jim Tatum, and his guys. National champions, 53. You know, Mike, as you look at those titles up there, the first college football game I saw in my entire life live was they came down in 1952 after winning the national championship, and Ole Miss and Johnny Vaught's team upset them 21-14. Jack Scarbath was the All-American quarterback. Dick Modulewski. Yeah, and a guy by the name of Dick Nolan, who coached in the NFL for a long time, was head coach at San Francisco. I remember he had a 100-yard kickoff return in that ball game. They were really talented.
Coach for the Cowboys, the secondary coach.
Yep. All right, this is Suter from the 5, 15-20, and Suter going to be rocked out of bounds hard at around the 25-yard line. Well, it's Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS at 7:30 Eastern. Join Stuart Scott and the best in the business for all the news from Week 2 in the NFL. And at 9 o'clock, it's ABC's Monday Night Football. Al Michaels and John Wooden, or Madden, I should say, are in D.C. for Steve Spurrier's debut on Monday night. It's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins. Merrills comes into the ball game at tailback, number 8, redshirt freshman out of Berwyn, Pennsylvania. They give it to him back into the short side of the field, and look at the speed of the linebackers for Florida State. Number 9, Kendall Pope, came flying, the junior out of Fort White, Florida.
Well, Maryland shouldn't feel bad with 1:37 to go on the clock because nobody else has scored on Florida State in the first quarter. So they set the tempo of the football game. But what FSU has not been able to do is play 4 quarters and finish off the job. They let Iowa State back. Virginia got back, scored some points in the 4th quarter.
Second down and a long 7. They give it to Merrill stumbling forward to around the 30-yard line, and there is a flag at the line of scrimmage. In fact, on both sides of the field. Offsides in the defense, so a very simple decision right here. That'll make it a second down at about 2.5 yards for the first down from Maryland. And Steve Levy, let's go back to the studio and check with you.
Ron, thank you. Iowa and Iowa State wasn't close in the first half. It's close here in the second half. Seneca Wallace to Jamal Montgomery for 7 yards. Iowa State was down 3. Iowa fumbled. Then Iowa State's Joe Woodley goes in. They now lead.
Iowa State has owned Iowa.
Second down and about 2.5 as they come to the line of scrimmage quickly, and Merrills puts a head down. He is not going to have the first down. Going to miss it by just about a yard.
Good tackle by Jerome Carter from the safety position, sneaking up to get the extra guy in the box.
You know, Merrills is interesting. He's a combination of strength and speed. Crawford is the strength running back. Chris Downs is the quick feet guy with the speed, but Merrills more of a combination, wouldn't you say, Mike?
Yeah, without a doubt. Keep your eye on this defensive end right here. This Moore, number 55, Eric Moore. He's a pass rushing Jesse out of that defensive end position.
Third down at about 1.5 yards, and Merrills hit behind the line of scrimmage, breaks off a tackle, and he almost broke it loose. He'll take it to the 41, and it's a gain of 7. What a great second effort on his part.
He had talked about Merrills. He's been recruited. He was recruited by Maryland and Penn State, so it gives you an idea. He's a pretty good running back, redshirt freshman. Just breaks the tackle right here of Eric Powell.
There's Powell about to make the tackle, and then he got hit by one of his own teammates and broke loose from the tackle. Darnell Dockett ran into him. So this probably is going to be the last play of the opening quarter. Florida State with 8 men in the box right now. McBrien looking, going to go long. Double coverage, and the ball incomplete and knocked away. And no time showing on the clock at the end of the first quarter. Rufus Brown had the cover, and the Maryland crowd won a pass interference, but looked like pretty good defensive play. So that is the end of the opening quarter, and we'll take a break. Well, wait a minute. We do have a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Offsides against Florida State.
And Derek Finners, the receiver. Rufus Brown, a little contact.
So that is the end of the first quarter, and we'll take the timeout. After the 5-yard penalty stepped off, Florida State, as we head to the second 15, leading 6-0. One untimed play then because of the penalty at the end of the quarter.
Well, gives them one more chance to get that goose egg off against Florida State, score some points.
Scott McBrien trots back out on the field, getting a chance to come over and talk with Ralph Friedgen. One more untimed play because of the penalty. Merrills is the lone setback for Maryland on the first down and 5. And Merrills maybe with a gain of 1. Did the ball come loose? Yes, Florida State has recovered. Rather than a flag, Mike, I think it was a beanbag that came down, and in their exuberance going off the field, one of the officials, it looked like the head linesman, got decked at the 47-yard line. Kyler Hall makes the recovery.
Merrill's trying to get extra yardage. Travis Johnson, number 99's in there.
So now we'll take a timeout. Florida State 6-0.
Which Sports Center do you watch? Mornings, evenings, late nights? Only on ESPN.
Hey Mo, what's better than one tire at a great price? 4 great tires, Manny?
Exactly.
How about 4 great tires starting at less than $100?
4 tires starting at less than $100. Now that's great.
Great is what we do best.
Cat Boys, we're car people.
Before you die, you see the ring. See the ring. You see the ring.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, October 18th.
For his first attempt, a 360 tomahawk.
Introducing Tostitos Scoops.
Amazing. And now the alley-oop reverse.
With the bite-sized bowl-shaped design.
Oh, my. And what everyone's been waiting for, the two-handed thunder.
For the perfect dip every time.
Oh, the judges have to be impressed.
Tostitos Scoops. The dip lover's chip. Also great with Queso Supreme dip.
Healthy Choice introduces everything you love about a grilled meal without the grill. New Healthy Choice mixed grills. Tender chunks of grilled chicken with seared-in flavor, tangy barbecue dipping sauce, and crisp vegetables. A delicious way to eat healthy. Real food and plenty of it.
Just the way I like it. Grilled.
6 new mixed grills. From Healthy Choice.
Switch to Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service and give your business the lowest cost shipping on 2- to 3-day packages. You'll save so much with Priority Mail. You'll have enough left over to treat yourself. Spare change. Brought to you by the United States Postal Service.
With their incredible power, sleek design, and affordable prices, Gateway's new computers are a great value. But now they're a better value than ever, because right now you can get a free printer or scanner with the purchase of select Gateway desktops. Call 1-800-GATEWAY for details.
Yes, but my hairdo and my makeup looked so good when I left the hotel. That was pre-tropical depression. College football Saturday night presented by the United States Postal Service. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Dave Ryan coming to you from College Park, Maryland. And there you see the numbers. Maryland, 14 yards rushing, 53 passing, 83 on the ground for the Seminoles. Maddox stepping up. And drills it and almost intercepted. Chris Ricks, I beg your pardon. You know, just before that play, somebody's got a whistle in the stands. I look for the teams to stop. Everybody, I looked around here in the booth, and your brother is looking at me, but it was not coming from the field someplace in the stands. As you look at Jeff Bowden.
Yeah, when I talked to Jeff Bowden the other day about Chris Ricks, and I asked him, I said, grade him right now, and he said, I'd give him a C right now because what you talked about earlier, he said he's not following the progression of the receivers, but that ball was pretty well thrown in the last play.
This time he's under center with an I formation behind him. And they give it to Greg Jones, bounces it to the outside, and he is going to get bounced down for no gain. Jerome Cox making the tackle. And Cox is the man that we were talking about. He is not wearing a cast on his hand. But he had an injury 2 weeks ago, or just longer than that, where his finger not only was broken, but it popped through the skin, and they said there were players that were getting sick at their stomach, and it was really a serious looking injury. Had to have it surgically repaired, and he's not even wearing a brace tonight.
You just made a lot of people in television land sick too.
Well, I thought it was after the dinner hour. I thought it might work. Third down, and they need to take it down to the 36-yard line. Ricks throws this one, has it complete at the 25. Inside the 20 is Talman Gardner. 1st and 10, Florida State, and it's going to be a gain of 29 yards.
Up until that point, they had 8 yards passing. Chris Ricks is going to find Gardner on a post route. Feels good good about it. You see him hopping around. Here's the route by Gardner. Good cushion because of the speed of the FSU receivers. Maryland respects the speed.
Boy, first down, and the ball is now resting inside the 20-yard line. Denard Wilson is the man who put a stop on him. Two tight ends, I formation. Skinny post. Couldn't hold on. That's Anquan Boldin. He didn't get it.
Yeah.
They give him the touchdown. He did. Got his feet down.
Ron, anytime you go to two tight ends, Florida State, everybody's playing run. Anquan Boldin, who's definitely the leader of this football team. Watch this great catch. Adjusts his route, gets a ball in his fingertips. Close to his foot being out of bounds, but by
the time he had possession,
a touchdown.
Bethea to attempt the extra point out of the hold of Gwaltney. And he's got it. So with 13 minutes, 27 seconds left until halftime, and as we go to break, you judge for yourself. Does he have possession? As Mike said, very close. 13-0 to Florida State.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. Yeah. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put your glad racks on, be ready to run. We're gonna have some fun. When the clock strikes 1, gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, come on, until the broad daylight. We're gonna rock, yeah, yeah. We're gonna rock, come on, around the clock tonight, yeah.
This place for that kind of money?
Not what you need to hear? Then stay here at Super 8. Clean, comfortable rooms because we inspect them more than any major economy chain. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
Now there's a better way to soothe your skin after shaving. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm has advanced moisturizers and vitamins to soothe and improve your skin. Nivea for Men. More evolved skincare.
Yo, Terry.
What is it, Alf?
This buffet has no worms. It's uncivilized.
Well, then try something else.
Oh, hey.
Not my dollar, you overgrown throw rug.
I thought a dollar had no value.
Well, it does if you dial 10-10-220.
All calls up to 20 minutes or 99 cents. Get out of town.
Yeah, and 7 cents a minute after 20.
All right, no dollars. Got any cats?
No. Furball.
Jealous?
Dial 10-10-220.
Starting a small business takes a burning entrepreneurial spirit, a singular bold vision, the courage to fight an endless uphill battle. But that's not all you need. Oh, no.
We need some furniture.
Not to mention the tools to manage your cash flow. That's why you need the Visa Business Card, because Jules Seltzer Furniture, like many other places, doesn't accept any card from American Express.
I love these chairs.
Visa Business, it's everywhere you want to be. Get started at Visa.com.
A formation that you think you're going to run the football, and then Anquan Boldin's going to run a post. But watch his adjustment after he runs a post. Right now, he straightens up and finds the football and makes that catch. That's a great adjustment, catching the football. Right here, he adjusts to that football, caught it on his fingertips. Excellent catch. Former quarterback, so you know he's got good hands.
Suter again, the deep man, and a deep safety for the Maryland Terrapins. And here's Bethea's kick. And even into the breeze, it's long from the goal line. Suter. Wow, he gets necktied at the 14-yard line and hit by Leon Washington. With college football Saturday on ESPN, Utah takes on Michigan, and Boston College squares off with Heisman candidate Ken Dorsey and top-ranked Miami. Catch all the action at noon and at 7:45 next Saturday. So you could read his lips, I would assume. Personal foul called against Florida State, and a penalty will push it out to the 29-yard line. Chris Downs comes back in at tailback, number 20, the senior out of Philadelphia. McBride short drop, quick out pass, and he threw it way behind Latrez Harrison.
One thing that has to worry Bobby Bowden is his team's been penalized a lot here early in the season. 224 yards. Here you see Maryland only 6 penalties in their 2 ball games, and now tonight
4 for a total of 30 this evening. Looks to the near side, now under heavy pressure. Going to pull up and throw long, and it is in and out of the hands of Scooter Monroe.
Flag thrown in the secondary.
That was big Eric Powell who was providing the pressure.
Talked about FSU doing a little bit more in zone. And
Steve Levy, let's check with you.
Ron, we're checking on Texas and North Carolina. Chris Sims, whenever he drops back to pass, who does he look for? How about his backup running back, Ivan Williams, 35 yards in the score, 10-0. Number 2, Texas, guys.
So we're back, 13:01 left in the first half, 13-0. Florida State on top. So following that defensive holding, Maryland hasn't had to do anything, and they're moving the ball out and now have pretty good field position. Straight ahead with the running play. Has 5, has 10, and this is Chris Downs at the 30, at the 20, and they won't catch him. Touchdown, 61 yards, and now here comes a late flag way back downfield. Friedgen can't believe it. A chop block below the knees is called against Maryland. And Mike, I thought that thing came really late after the play was 40 yards behind it. But it happened from the get-go.
It's on Latrez Harrison, I believe, number 4.
Yeah.
Going to crack back and block really low on Jerome Carter.
And see, the official who was right on it didn't throw the flag. The referee is the one who threw it, and threw it very late. And that's what Ralph, I think, is discussing with the officials.
And what bothers you most when you're a coach is that happened on the other side of the field, and that player, Jerome Carter, would not have been around that play.
So Merrills comes in the ball game following the long 61-yard run, and they call it back. First down at 17 now, and they fake it to Merrills, sets in the pocket near sideline, and that one is off the track. Harrison, the intended receiver, and Emmanuel is the man who was decking the quarterback, Scott McBride.
What's happening to Maryland is they're all of a sudden Florida State's bump and run their wide receivers, and if you don't have an answer for this, they can't throw the ball. They're stacking up the run now. They're challenging the wide receivers.
McBride 2 of 7 as he retreats to the pocket, gets hit, gets by one, will not get by the second wave, and that is Travis Johnson. And a flag has come into the pile again. Tony Benford also applying pressure.
a third offside.
Yep.
Mickey Andrews can't be happy with that. You ask your defensive lineman to crowd that football, and I think that's what he's on the official. Now he's on also Darnell Dockett and Alonzo Jackson.
So you have the quarterback sacked, and you were offside, so they get a reprieve, and it's 2nd down and 12. So we hit 12.5 minutes left until halftime. Merrills continues to work at tailback. It's Scooter Monroe in motion. They run him across the middle, but they dump it out here in the flat and have it complete to Merrills, and he's going to take it out across the 40 to the 41. So it'll be 3rd down. It's still long, about 8 more defensively.
Scott McBrien, the quarterback out of high school, was not offered by Maryland. Chose to go to West Virginia and played sparingly. 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He grew up 5 miles or went to school to DeMatha, 5 minutes from this campus. So happy to be home.
And trying to learn the system, which is very, very complicated. Chris Downs comes into the lineup at tailback, number 20. McBrien, pressure right up the middle. Trying to get away, throws it across the middle and got it complete. Going to be short of the 1st down, but Chris Downs did a nice job of coming back and helping his quarterback.
Got to punt this football.
Second punt of the night by Brooks Bernard. His first one was about the time the gale unleashed, and he did not have a good one. It was only 28 yards. And Leon Washington is the deep man for Florida State. Well, he tries to pooch this one, and it's going to hit at the 5 and roll. It went out of bounds at the 1-foot line. 52 yards in the kick. So we'll take a break. 13-0 Florida State, but they're starting deep in their own territory.
Hey, hand me that there, wrench? Yeah. What do you think? I got that insurance or something?
What?
It puts money in your wallet in case you're like flat on your back.
What? Never heard of it.
Well, you can get it at work.
Get what?
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Thinking we're gonna have to... Mario? Laura! Mario's back.
Mario! Mijo! Where have you been?
Mario?
Hey.
Just went to Circuit City. Pretty big, huh?
Yeah, it's big,
But what?
well, there's just a little extra space all the way around.
Well, we could always go bigger.
We can go bigger.
You can bring it back. We welcome returns and exchanges with no surprise charges like restocking fees. Circuit City, we're with you.
Honey, it's big enough.
I can still see the light.
The greatest outdoor show ever is back. New American Sportsman, hosted by Rick Schroeder. Mondays at 8 on ESPN2.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the United States Postal Service. Brought to you by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Cold, down, easy.
So we're back. That ball just missed going over the top of the cone. You can see Florida State is scrimmaging inside their own 1-yard line. Obviously, they got to hold on to the football. And remember, offensive holding in the end zone, that's a safety. And the student section is right there behind him. looking up the near sideline, and he's got it complete to Anquan Boldin. How many times have we seen it happen? 44 yards on the pass play. You remember Winky 2 years ago doing the same thing, and it went for a touchdown, Mike.
And Dominic Foxworth is having his hands full with Anquan Boldin. Good fake by Chris Ricks. Well blocked. And that's the way to get it out of your own end zone quickly.
You can see Foxworth, that's all he can do to stay with him. Boldin to get a breather for a second. But a brand new set of downs, and now they have it out at their own 45-yard line. Gives it to Jones right up the middle, and he spins around and has about 2.5, maybe 3 yards. Henderson defensively. Six tackles now for Henderson. Joe at the quarter break had 7 tackles already, 5 of those solo. Play action passed on too tall to Gardner, and Steve Levy, let's check with you again.
Ron, Nebraska and Penn State, they played a scoreless first quarter, but not so in the second quarter. Larry Johnson off the option touchdown. Nittany Lions are on the board. Back to you in Maryland.
All righty, 7-0 Penn State on top. Actually, 2 ball clubs that have not really played up to what people thought their potential was for the season. So Ricks calls a timeout with 9:15 left until halftime. So we'll take a break with them. 13-0 Florida State.
After an exciting kickoff weekend, Sunday NFL Countdown is ready for more. So pay attention. Coach Bill Parcells joins the team.
I would have retired 10 years earlier if I had to coach a left.
John Madden checks in from his cruiser.
I might move in with you.
Come on aboard. Mi casa, su casa.
And the rest of the gang holds nothing back.
It is now or never for this football team.
As they get you primed for week 2 in the NFL.
So get ready to light them up.
Don't miss Sunday NFL Countdown. 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
How many reasons do you need to get into a Chrysler car or minivan? How about 0? Because now, for a limited time, you can get 0% financing for 60 months on most 2002 Chrysler vehicles, which could save you up to $6,700 depending on model. Plus, to make this great offer even better, it's backed by the peace of mind of our 770 Powertrain Limited Warranty. So get to your Chrysler dealer today, because with 0% financing and our 770 Limited Warranty, there's no reason not to.
Michelin would like to remind you, there's only one safety feature on the road that actually touches the road. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Hi, this is Bert at Bert Brooks Tire, inviting you to Bert Brooks Tire for the best service and prices in Rome, Georgia.
9:15 left until halftime. The rain has stopped for the moment here at College Park, Maryland, but it came down very hard in the first half of the first quarter. Everybody got drenched. We really have not had any mishandled snaps or passes, really, because of the weather.
Only 1 fumble. 2 fumbles.
Willie Reed works at tailback, and he is offset to the left. Here comes a blitz. Rick steps up into the pocket, gets it out complete to Anquan Boldin. Brooks a couple of tackles and is all the way down to around the 35-yard line. Starks finally made the stop, but not after a gain of 13.
Now that was a good job of Chris Ricks avoiding the blitz. Four-man rush. Here comes the linebacker blitzing. Chris Ricks gets the ball to a steady receiver, Anquan Bolden. Now he looks like a former quarterback running the option. Picks up extra yards. So he's been the go-to guy tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, Leon Joe was coming with some real pressure, but credit Willie Reed with a nice block to help his quarterback get out of harm's way. Maddox checks back into tailback, and he'll give it to him. Left side, bangs into his own teammate, and now got to be pushed back.
Anquan Bolden has been the answer for Florida State on offense tonight. Here's a route, post, and he caught the ball on his fingertips for the touchdown. They're backed up in the end zone. He gives back, and Chris Ricks just throws it up for grabs, and Anquan Bolden comes down with it.
So Florida State, as we're about to go under 8 minutes left in the first half, on top 13-0 and driving again. 201 total yards for the Seminoles already. And this is Jones. And Jones powers his way inside the 30 down to around the 29-yard line. Leon Joe with still another tackle, the junior out of Clinton, Maryland. That gives him a total of 8 on the night.
But for all those yards they got, only have 13 points. Maryland's making them work for everything they get. And their offense, Maryland's offense, has not been able to sustain a drive.
So third down, and they need to take it down to the 26-yard line to pick up the first. Ricks with an audible. And he's going to have to call a timeout. 25-second clock was running down, and he came out from under center and said, well, let's talk it over. Don't have time to get this one run. Tonight's Aflac trivia question: in Bobby Bowden's first season as head coach at Florida State, which was 1976, who was the head coach at Maryland? The answer coming later on. Steve Levy, let's check back in the studio. What do you got for us?
Ron, got plenty of Oklahoma offense for you. Taking on UTEP. Nate Hibble gonna play fake on the reverse and look up top for Ronaldo Works. 33-yard touchdown. They'd get the ball back after an interception. Kewan Jones would run in, make it 28-zip in favor of the Sooners.
Well, UTEP's given up some points.
They really have. They really have. One thing to play a tough schedule to make the big bucks in the preseason, but man, they have been like a sieve.
70+ last week against Kentucky.
Nick Maddox and Willie Reed in the backfield this time.
They got Nick Maddox in the slot.
Top of your screen. Next to the... Actually, one more up, I think, Mike. Isn't it?
Nope, right there. Third receiver in.
Throws back to this side. Has it complete, and that's 81 PK Sam, the sophomore out of Buford, Georgia. And that'll be well enough for the first down at the 15, gain of 14 yards.
Ron, what they did here is move 3 wide receivers to the left and come back to the single receiver side. Against Cox again, the defensive corner, PK Sam with a nice skinny post route.
This time Sam goes to the top of your screen along with Talman Gardner. Nick Maddox, as a flag goes down, runs it at right guard, and he'll have a gain of 3. And Dave Ryan, let's go to the sideline. Have you dried up some?
Ron, the good news is the rain has stopped, as you mentioned. The wind has dwindled, really just a slight breeze. So weather not nearly as big a factor. The footing is very good as well for these players on the grass surface here at Byrd Stadium. It is slick, but because of the very good drainage, a good crown at the center of the field, footing is excellent. Doesn't look like it's going to be a big factor. And the run game, which has been so dominant, we talked about for Florida State, isn't as much a factor as well. They're going to the pass game because all the equipment guys are able to keep the balls very dry. Not a factor in terms of wet balls out there, guys.
All righty. We take a look at the numbers on Chris Ricks. 6 of 11, 127 yards and 1 touchdown. And with that offsides this time against the Maryland defense, it's 1st down and 5. 8th play. And you got to remember, it started at the Florida State 1-yard line. Greg Jones spins off one tackler. That was Henderson, who came across the guard. And it'll be a short gain as they will take it, let's say, around the 8-yard line.
E.J. Henderson trying to make something happen. Just coming across to the line of scrimmage, trying to get Greg Jones in the backfield.
Mike, he thought of coming out early. And had he not had the really bad back problems last year, I think that possibly he would have. But he had, what, some bone spurs on the vertebra.
I think that's a back injury that the Maryland fans were glad to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Said the agents were bothering him so much he thought about taking his phone out.
2nd down and about 4. Pitch comes to Jones. Gets a block from the fullback. Tries to turn the corner. And that's a nice job defensively by number 10, Medea Williams.
You're right. Medea Williams came up and played that thing well. It transferred from Towson State. Came to Maryland as a walk-on. Played at Towson. Sat out last year. Forces the ball outside. Got some help from Leon Joe.
Mike, you could see what happened to B.J. Dean, the fullback. He lost his footing trying to throw the block, but was in the way of the defender just enough that they were able to get around it. 10th play of the drive. They fake it to Jones, fake the reverse, and Ricks is going to hold on to it. Knocked out of bounds short of the 1st down at around the 9-yard line, which was the line of scrimmage. Leon Joe on the hit. He's been everywhere.
He has really played a very fine first half, making tackles sideline to sideline. Again, Bobby Bowden and Jeff Bowden not going to be happy about not finishing drives.
Savied Bethea to attempt a 26-yard field goal from the near hash mark. And again, Chance Gwaltney, the punter, is the holder. Florida State has not had to punt tonight. And he's got it. So we'll take a timeout. 4:28 left until halftime. Now it's Florida State 16-0.
Hey, making a click call? Just dial in the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you and cheap for them. What do you say we bail?
Save on every call. Use 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Anyone who loves barbecue knows that chicken's chicken, but the right sauce makes it barbecue. Thick, rich KC Masterpiece with garlic, molasses, onions, and spices. KC Masterpiece, the sauce that makes it barbecue.
I remember I was craving a cheese sandwich, only I didn't have cheese or a car. So I built my own ride. At the same time, an unsuspecting Mr. Yang Lem Chu was getting his car. We rode 400 miles until fate intervened in Cheddar, New Mexico, at a house of cheese. And I can't help but think, was this coincidence or part of something bigger?
Man, I'm telling you, Tiki's unstoppable. Come on, dude. Nobody gets past Javon. Oh, yeah? We'll see. Hey, do not mess with the free.
The NFL equipment jerseys. Just try one on. Tiki Barber scrambling for yardage. Breaks free. Tiki toward the end zone. Thirst from out of nowhere. Wow, that's quite a hit. Nothing's built like the new NFL equipment jerseys at Champs Sports.
Better luck next time, Tiki.
I told you nobody gets past Javon.
Well, the answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question, Bobby Bowden's first season as head coach in Florida State, which was 1976. Who was the head coach at Maryland? If you guessed Jerry Claiborne, you're exactly right. 11-1 in the ACC champions in 1976. There's his name right there, and you can see how many times he was Coach of the Year, National Coach of the Year in 1974.
needs a big kickoff return. They haven't had a chance to return a kickoff.
And Suter 3 yards deep, and he's going to go down on one knee. So it's Sunday Night Football on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern. Rich Gannon and the Oakland Raiders head to Pittsburgh and the land of the Steelers. Cordell Stewart and Jerome Bettis looking to put the loss on Monday night behind them and get back on track. Coverage begins with NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern. And for more on upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com, and the keyword is schedule. Chris Downs comes into ball game at tailback, number 20. Earned the starting position before last week's game against Akron. In fact, he was told on the practice field by his head coach, hey, I like the way you're working. You're going to start this weekend. McBrien, play action, zings this one out. Intercepted. Florida State. Rufus Brown has a blocker in front at the 10 and will be pushed out of bounds at the 5.
Just an errant throw by Scott McBrien, trying to get the ball to Scooter Monroe. Well played by FSU. Poorly thrown football. Rufus Brown returns it.
And they're going to spot him out just inside the 5.
Little sidearm there. Just looked like Rufus Brown was the intended receiver.
And Mike, it looked as though he tried to put air under it. He just threw it short.
Get it.
Just threw it short, and Rufus was right there. So Greg Jones will come in at tailback, and Torrance Washington, number 43, is the fullback. Greg Jones, right side, going to fight his way for one. And a tough job by that Maryland defense. Starks, one of the men down at the bottom of the pile.
Starks is a big-time player, big-time defensive lineman for Maryland, only a sophomore.
He was a very highly recruited young fella out of Waldorf, Maryland. And Gary Blackney, the defensive coordinator, said yesterday in our meeting with him that he is playing extremely well. But this defense has had to stay on the field way too much in the first half, don't you think?
Without a doubt, 4 possession, 4 scores, but they've done a nice job holding FSU to field goal attempts.
Jones again, this time to the left, and he will take it down to the 1-yard line. Leon Joe with still another tackle.
Yeah, down here they like the fullback. Greg Jones is running strong.
McBrien being taped up on the sideline. Heavy tape job on that right ankle.
We may see the backup quarterback.
Kelly.
Chris Kelly.
And now a timeout has been called with 3 minutes until halftime. And we'll take it with them. So this is the last timeout Florida State has in this half. We'll be right back.
Youth. The possibilities seem endless. It's time to explore, to dream. But what are these dreams made of? Some say passion, a desire to excel. Through the generations, dreams have been a part of who we are.
As he pulls this ball out of a
and the Atlantic Coast Conference has encouraged these dreams for the past 50 years. Now we invite you to join us for the next 50. The Atlantic Coast Conference. Accelerate.
When the Navy sought a power source for a new generation of ship, we had the right energy. When the nation called for better hurricane forecasting, conditions here were perfect. And when a life-saving cancer drug was in short supply, we had the right chemistry. How fast do ideas move? At the speed of imagination. Florida State University. Ideas that move.
Well, we'd like to welcome the men and women of Operation Northern Watch tuned into this telecast from the Middle East on the American Forces Network, especially you guys taking a break in the ONW morale tent on Incirlik Air Base in Turkey. And thanks for all you do. Third down and goal.
Like the belly down here to the fullback. Right there it is.
And they give it to him, and he's close to the goal line, but is not going to get in. Torrance Washington tackled by Henderson.
I think you got to go for this. You get tired of kicking field goals. You got to get a touchdown here. E.J. Henderson stops it up pretty well. Got it head of steam and tackled Washington before he could get started.
So Greg Jones comes back into the lineup. They'll go with the 250-pounder at tailback.
Even if you don't score the touchdown, you give them the ball at the half-yard line. But you figure with 4 senior offensive linemen, you challenge them here.
Ricks, quarterback sneak, hurdles over, and he scores. Antoine Marambo, the big senior center out of Miami Beach, Florida, number 52, leading the way. Good look at him as he heads to the sideline. So, boy, that turnover costs Maryland immediately. Well, Mathia's been a busy guy in this first half with field goals and extra points. Good pass from center and got it. And you could look at Bruce Perry and you can imagine what's going through his mind about how badly he would like to play in this football game. And he looks up and his mates are already down 23-0, and we still have 2:10 to play in the opening half. That's difficult.
And they really haven't shown any signs of offense. Here's the turnover that led to the touchdown you're talking about. Just underthrew it to Rufus Brown. And then Chris Ricks. It's good blocking from his center and guard. Doesn't even get touched.
Mike, you could see him go to the sideline, and he went straight to his big center and gave him a hug and thanked him for the good blocking and to opening things up. There he is right there. So 2 takeaways by Florida State, and it's cost the Terps 14 points. And goes without saying, Ralph will go in at halftime and say, hey, fellas, they don't need any help. They're good enough. We don't need to set the table for them.
The other thing, Maryland's got to find an answer for FSU's defense.
So Bethea sets to kick it off, and again suited the deep man, and they just move him over because of Bethea kicking that ball off in the far hash mark. That's where Suter is lined up over on that side of the field as well. Very high on this one and very long. And Maryland will take it over with 2:05 at the 20-yard line. Steve Levy, let's check back with you just before halftime.
All right, Ron, thanks very much. Coming up on the Saturn Halftime Report, Trev Alberts will join me, and we'll look at college football for the teams that are in the state of Michigan. A tough day for them, and thoughts from Columbus from the men of Game Day. That's all coming up on the Saturn Halftime Report. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Now back to you.
All righty. 2:05 is what we have left to burn in this half. I don't know how conservative Phil Friedgen will be right here or not.
Now down 23-0. I don't think he can be conservative.
Scooter Monroe makes the reception and is going to be pushed out of bounds after a gain of 11.
Stanford Samuels on the tackle. Scott McBrien's got to get something lit under this offense. They have just not done anything.
Harrison, one of the men that is split to the bottom of your screen, along with Steve Suter, number 34. McBrien looks back to the short side, now comes back to his running back, and that's complete to down. Gets by one tackler, but the ball is loose, and Florida State has recovered at the 49-yard line.
Rufus Brown again.
Samuels, I think, made the recovery, but Brown knocked it loose. Mike, you're exactly right.
2 big plays, 2 turnovers. Rufus Brown been involved in. Down shows good moves here, just doesn't hold on to the football.
And if you think Florida State's not about to try to go downtown again, you got another thing coming. They are one of the best at trying to take care of an opponent and not let them back up.
Well, they've had problems in the fourth quarter. They take a nap every now and then, but this is still the second quarter, so they're not tired yet.
It's Willie Reed, number 26, who was in the backfield with Chris Ricks. Dave Ryan, let's check with you down on the sideline. What do you got for us?
All right, Ron, big part of that Florida State 99 National Championship. Corey Simon now with the Philadelphia Eagles. You take on LeVar Arrington and the Redskins on Monday night. Chance to see your old teammates in action here. What'd you tell them before the game? We know you talked to your former teammates.
Just to stay together as a team. You know, you're coming in a hostile environment, and you know, you're going to have to be united as a team. I mean, you can't become separated. Adversity is going to eventually strike, and you're going to have to stick together and go out there and fight together.
It's great to see you. Good luck on Monday night.
Thank you.
Finals for the Outland of Lombardi, senior year, Ron.
Long pass is caught, and a touchdown, Gardner. 56 yards. Jerome Cox was trying to cover him, and Mike, I think he's about as close as you could be without having pass interference, and he caught it anyway.
Gardner just makes a great catch. It's pretty well thrown ball by Chris Ricks. Going for the kill here.
Xavier Bethia to attempt still another extra point. Flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Kick is good. Probably defense offside, and by rule, yeah, by rule, extra point is good, and it is now 30-0 Florida State.
Well thrown football by Chris Ricks, picking on Cox, the corner. Gardner goes right up for it. Pretty good shape, but Gardner was able to elevate and catch the football at its highest point. Almost cradled that football in there for the touchdown.
Corey reacting on the sideline. He had just finished his interview and turned around and saw that 56-yard touchdown pass, and absolutely perfect on his timing as far as the jump was Gardner. And you could see what kind of leaping ability he has, because the defensive back,
plus he's
Cox,
6'2".
Yeah, Cox had good position on him.
You see 3 turnovers, 21 points. And when you play FSU, they don't need any help. This crowd is quiet. Been quiet.
30-0 with 1:39 showing on the stadium clock. That is in the first half. Here's the kick. Suter again. This is returnable from the 4-yard line. Suter. He can fly. Going to take it out over the 30. Where are they going to mark it down? Around the 32. Steve Levy is check with you again.
Ron, thank you. And we're checking in on Nebraska and Penn State. Jamal Lord marched Nebraska down the field, but Judd Davies goes in for the touchdown. Penn State has just added a field goal. They lead 10-7. See you at the half.
All righty. Well, now we got 133. When we talked last, it was at 2:05, and that was a touchdown ago as far as Florida State is concerned.
Penn State's weakness is in the secondary, and I don't know if Nebraska can get to them throwing the football.
Well, you're right. It's a good point.
Central Florida showed some weaknesses.
Brian got that pass complete to Monroe. Scooter trying to get out of bounds, and he didn't. You see Mickey Andrews up screaming at that defense. Hey, Mick, you got a shutout going, buddy.
Well, he knows a Virginia game, an Iowa State game, if you don't stay on these guys,
He didn't want anybody to take a nap, to have a walkabout, so to speak. 2nd down and 5. Bryant's going to run it. Flag comes down from behind.
It's got to be holding.
Yeah, going to have to. You're right. Michael Boulware
might be on Matt Crawford, number 78.
So Maryland hustling back to the huddle. 59 seconds showing on the clock right now.
There's the hold.
So they're going to drive football in from the sideline, and yeah, there's the hold.
The hold. It's on 73, Lamar Bryant. So Matt Crawford, it wasn't you.
Womble is the guy that he was holding. McBrien steps up, drills this one, and has it complete. That is a great catch by Dugan, the tight end.
Dugan's a good-looking target, 6'4", 261. Coaches talk about his blocking ability. Say he's one of the best blockers in the conference, but showed great hands there.
He really did, particularly for a guy that's 261 pounds. Got up off the turf. Clock runs now at 40 seconds until halftime. Blitz right up the middle, and misread between Dugan and the quarterback McBrien, and the umpire got decked. 2 of the officials have gone down hard tonight.
You talked about a miscommunication. I think it was all Scott McBrien. Dugan was running a curl route, an option route, and he just really threw it over his head.
Umpire's Talbot Pierce, and he got knocked on his backside on that play. Zings this one across the middle, has it complete. That should be enough. First down. Scooter Monroe to make the reception.
And they've got all their 3 timeouts, Ron, so they pretty good shape here with 29 seconds to put something on the board. Here's Scott McBrien showing you his sidearm motion.
So, Mike, this is really the story of the day if you're looking at Maryland, and it's turnovers.
Yeah, they just have not been able to hold on the football. And Florida State takes advantage of all the turnovers. Rufus Brown's been involved in a couple. Here he causes the fumble.
Seems to be a little deeper than it is against most people. That was a really nice run on the part of Towns after he caught that pass, but he didn't feel Brown behind him and got it knocked away. Was not covering it up. He thought he was in the open field. 29 seconds left. Mickey Andrews, the veteran defensive coordinator, talking with his defense. And as far as being a goal setter, Mickey would love nothing. He doesn't want to give up a point tonight. He would like to shut out this Maryland football team, not because it's Maryland, but just to get that defense on track.
Well, he knows we've been talking about Ralph Friedgen, knows everybody else in the country's talked about how good an offensive coach he is. So he would like to put the goose egg on him.
Bryant deep in the pocket this time, breaks down, gets it away, and it is intercepted this time by Pope. Kendall Pope, the linebacker. And Florida State has 21 seconds to work with. That is 4 first half turnovers against the Terps.
Had tried to get the ball to Mario Maros, and Kendall Pope was running with him man for man. Right here and underthrew the football, and Pope made a good interception.
One of the things about Florida State annually, so many good athletes in every position. And you can see their linebackers run like most safeties.
Yeah. Speed, too.
Yep. So Pope all smiles on the sideline, and let's see if it looks like they're going to come up around Ricks and go down to one knee. They're not going to go after anything else. The remainder of the team starting to head toward the locker room, down on one knee, and that'll be the last play of the first half. Ralph Friedgen heads to the locker room in frustration, you bet. 4 first-half turnovers. Bobby Bowden's team has played the part of the opportunistic, very well-defined football team, and they go in with a 30-0 lead at halftime. So Florida State 30, Maryland nothing. Now here's Steve Levy with the Saturn halftime report.
Ron, thank you. Who's the defending ACC champ again? Wow, Maryland and all sorts.
30-0. Florida State leads at halftime. And quickly, let's go down to the sideline to Dave Ryan. Dave?
All right, Coach Ralph Friedgen, 4 turnovers, a little trouble in the first half, certainly. What did Florida State do well defensively against your team to cause such trouble?
Well, to be honest with you, they haven't played anything that we didn't think they were going to play. We're just not doing a very good job of executing, and they are. We're turning the ball over. We ain't going to beat the Sisters of the Poor turning the ball over 4 times, so we better get it straight or we're going to get embarrassed here. And to me, we better get going.
2 interceptions for McBrien at quarterback. Will Chris Kelly come in to replace him in the second half at all?
There's a possibility of that. I might play you the second half.
You know this team well. Is there enough fight in this team in the second half?
We're going to find that out, too.
Looks like an 8-game home win streak in real trouble for Coach Friedgen of the Terrapins.
Well, he was chapped, and I thought he would be. I think we will see the number 2 quarterback in the ball game. And, you know, just what Dave just asked him, that's big, Mike. He's going to find out how much fight this team has left in him tonight.
Yeah, Dave Ryan better warm up if he's going to go in here against this defense. But turnovers and not getting a running game going for Maryland has been the difference. They have not been able to run the football, so they can't throw it on the outside because the Florida State defensive backs are challenging the wide receivers. So Dave Ryan better get loose.
So Novak comes out on the field to kick it off. Leon Washington along with Talman Gardner are the 2 deep men for Florida State. Here's Novak's kick. And this is Gardner. Gardner slowed up at the 20 and is going to be tackled at the 24. And let's take a look at the halftime stats. And Mike, tell me what you see here.
I think the biggest thing right here, Ron, is 23 yards rushing. You can't not run the football against Florida State and become one-dimensional and try to throw the ball against that front 4. And then Florida State's got good balance, 280 total yards. The 4 turnovers again, that's big too. That's a story. Can't run and turn the ball over, and they miss this guy.
Bruce Perry on the sideline. A groin injury, and they think it might be maybe next weekend that he is set to come back. I'll tell you, keep an eye on Joe. He had 11 first-half tackles, 8 solo. That ties his career high. Screen out on the flat. That's complete to Bolden. Spins off 1 tackler and will be stopped by Henderson at the 29-yard line.
Chris Ricks was 1 of 4 in the first quarter for 8 yards passing the football. We talked about they didn't throw the football very effectively in the first quarter. In the second quarter, he's 6 out of 7 for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he caught fire in the second quarter.
Torrance Washington comes in the ball game at fullback. He's the lead blocker, and they give it to Jones, bounces it to the outside, will have the first down out to the 36. First half possessions, let's take a look at those numbers.
And we talked about, you take the first one here, field goal, field goal, field goal. That's pretty good defense by Maryland, but they didn't get any help on the offensive side. So Garrett Blackney's team just ran out of steam, and then those 2 turnovers just before half was the difference. This defense has played well.
Looking into the eyes of Henderson, he just recorded his 7th tackle on the night. 6 of those are solo. He and Joe have been everywhere, and he just recorded another one, making number 8. As he puts the stop on the running back. Right now, Florida State, I don't know that there's a lot more that they'd like to work on other than getting some fresh faces in the ball game. midway of the third period just to give some people some playing time, but maybe to continue to work on the running game. So
yeah, I think they're going to run the football, and they're going to play these guys the third quarter, and they want to finish this game. They don't want to do like they did in the first 2 games and get that to be a habit where you all of a sudden give up and don't play with a focus in the fourth quarter.
Jones bounces it outside on the left. Henderson hits him and then gets a lot of help from some friends at the 40-yard line. Henderson and Joe combining on that stop.
E.J. Henderson last year had 28 tackles for losses. Very good linebacker. Shuffles, moves to the football, and when Gary Blackney talked about him, he talked about his speed. He can run as fast as he has to on the football field.
I asked him if, because of that back injury, if he does not explode into ball carriers this year like he did last year, and he said maybe at first, but now it turns into game situation and you just play with reckless abandon.
I think he forgets once he gets out here.
Pass over the middle, and it is complete to Maddox. That's short of the first down by 1.5 yards. Denard Wilson is there to make the stop. If you just joined us, it's 30-0 Florida State. They're about to go under 12 minutes to play third quarter. This is the first punt of the night by Florida State. Chance Gwaltney waiting for the snap at the 30-yard line. Suter, the deep man. This is a line drive kick, returnable, but it's toward the sideline, and Suter makes the catch and has to run out of bounds immediately. Well, it's Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS at 7:30 Eastern. Join Stuart Scott and the best in the business for all the news from Week 2 in the National Football League. And at 9 o'clock, it's ABC Monday Night Football. Al Michaels and John Madden are in D.C. for Steve Spurrier's debut on Monday Night Football. Philadelphia against Washington. Corey still on the sideline.
Still prowling, too, like he's mad.
Chris Downs. Switch through a little seam there at left guard. 20 out to the 25-yard line, and Pope will put the stop on him after a gain of 8. Well, the sporting world lost one of its all-time greats this week. Johnny Unitas passed away at the age of 69. Unitas is an NFL Hall of Fame quarterback, played for the Baltimore Colts for 18 years and was named the NFL Player of the Year 3 times. Died of a heart attack this past week. Said by most as a flag comes down. We're going to get a substitution rule violation here.
Substitution violation against the offense, breaking the huddle with more than 11.
Yeah, Johnny Unitas, probably the greatest quarterback to ever play, in Louisville graduate. Pittsburgh Steelers, they'd like to say, you know, we cut him.
Yeah.
So,
and that play,
like to know who cut him.
Yeah. That play that is so famous, with Amici scoring at Yankee Stadium, Jimmy Patton coming up trying to make the tackle, one of the Giants in overtime. He really left his mark in such a big way. Chris Downs on the receiving end, and he'll take it out to the 25-yard line. 2 yards short of the first down. Alonzo Jackson making the long haul out from defensive end. You see him putting a hand on that right kidney.
Chris Downs only had 4 carries last year, so if Bruce Perry doesn't get injured, he probably doesn't see the field, but he's been an exciting running back tonight. I believe he had a 61-yard run that got called back.
You're right,
so he's got speed.
Alonzo Jackson, as you can see, headed to the bench, and we'll try to get a check on him holding either his kidney or the small of his back. McBrien running for his life and does the smart thing of going down. He's going to have the first down at the 30-yard line. Jarrell Hudson is there to make the play and you can see the training staff immediately coming over to check out Alonzo Jackson, the senior out of Americus, Georgia. for a gain of about 6 yards. Dave Ryan, let's check with you on the sideline.
All right, Ron, thanks so much. Head coach of the national champion Maryland Terrapins, Gary Williams, with us. Honored at halftime. What has life been like for you and your program post-championship? Has it changed a lot?
Well, I've been busier, but that's a good thing. I take that every year, so it's been great. Our fans here, you know, it's just great for everybody here because, you know, that was the first time we did that, and been a lot of people going to games for a lot of years waiting to see that.
Brand new Comcast Center for the basketball team. A lot of improvements for Ralph Region in football. Are expectations program-wide pretty much higher now, football, basketball, across the board?
Oh, yeah, and, you know, any time you're in a league like the ACC, it's very difficult because in basketball, every one of those schools has a good basketball program, but, you know, you want to be competitive, and then you go from there. As long as you can remain competitive, and certainly the new Comcast Center and things like that will help us stay there.
Good luck in repeating the championship. Thanks for the time.
Thanks very much.
Ron?
You know, somehow things just won't seem right not being played at Cole Fieldhouse. But what a magnificent building that they have constructed here on campus back over to our right, a few hundred yards. I'm sure the student body anxious to get into that when basketball season starts. 8.5 minutes to go, third quarter. And McBrien's going to roll the pocket way out and throws it complete, and there's Scooter Monroe. And Scooter, who thinks he wants to become a broadcaster after his football playing days are done, takes that one for 20 yards before Samuels makes the tackle.
Yeah, Charlie Taft, the offensive coordinator, is going to start to move Scott McBrien around a little bit. Here's a tough throw for him going to his right, a left-hander, but he does a pretty good job of getting the ball out on the out route to Scooter Monroe. A little push off there, but didn't get caught.
Well, immediately Mickey makes a change. McFadden comes in. Samuels goes out. Mickey Andrews, of course, who I'm talking about. Downs. Well, water clips his way inside the 30, close to the first down at the 28. Jerome Carter, the Rover, will make the tackle, and Alan Augustin comes into the lineup, the junior out of Miami. And Mickey Andrews said he might play all three linebacker positions from one time or another in this ball game tonight.
Yeah, pretty good player. I was just thinking about Maryland being challenged by Ralph Friedgen at half. When Dave Ryan did the interview, you could tell Ralph said, we're going to find something out about this football team in the second half. So their offense has come out here. The defense did their job. The offense come out here and move the football. And I'm sure he told them that, hey, Florida State might take a siesta and we could get back in this thing. Yeah, you see Maryland's first two games only averaging underground 112 yards, only 57 tonight. 33 touchdowns last year.
Well, was tied for third in the NCAA. Two tight ends, and straight ahead James Lynch, the ball carrier this time. Travis Johnson down at the bottom of that stack.
Haven't seen much option tonight out of Maryland. Of course, Scott McBrien's not the best guy at the option. Chris Kelly's probably a better option quarterback in that scheme of things for Maryland.
Like Bernie Fiddler on the field, number 44. He plays both linebacker. There's Charlie. Plays both linebacker, and they use him as a blocking back. He is wing to the left side this time on third down and short. And Downs as a flag has been thrown. He's going to have the first down.
You got to figure that's offside again against Florida State.
Jeff Dugan with a good block, the tight end. Yep.
That's about 4 on him. That'll drive Mickey to his rib restaurant.
Joe Kaiser next to him.
This is a pretty good drive now. Maryland can cash in.
Florida State trying to get on Eric Powell, and he didn't even get to the hash mark. He had to turn around and get back. He could see they were already out of the huddle. Ninth play. This whole thing started at the 17-yard line. Alonzo Jackson is back in the ball game, number 48. So undoubtedly the back problem, whatever it was, has either been solved or he thinks it's good enough that he can come in and play. You were looking into the eyes a moment ago, Todd Wyke, who was playing center for the first time this year, and only his third game. This, talk about a baptism under fire against this team. Hit at the line of scrimmage is Downs, and that's Eric Moore. A lot of these people that I'm mentioning are backup people, and this is one of the areas where Florida State keeps a leg up on a lot of their competition. Eric Powell is about to check in. Moore just made the stop. All of those are backup personnel, and they will play 8, sometimes 10 defensive linemen.
They'll play them where other teams won't play them in a football game. They'll stick them right in there and make you drive the football against the backups sometimes, but they'll get 3 deep in the defensive line.
Second down and long, and this is a situation you don't like against Florida State. Second down and about 12. Pressure off the edge, gets by one, will not get by the second, and that is 55, Eric Moore, the young man we were just talking about. That's the first sack tonight, and Boulware is the man who just disrupted everything on the play.
And when they come with all the speed that they come with, you don't want a delayed pass. Eric Moore just kind of covers up Scott McBride, but they made him pull up and force him back inside.
Under 5.5 minutes to play, third quarter, 11th play of the drive, and right now Maryland very close to being out of field goal range. They're not looking for field goals, they need touchdowns. 3rd and 19, need to take it down to the 13-yard line. Pass caught by Jafar Williams, who's been very quiet tonight. I think that is his first reception on the evening, and he's one of the big-time players, a junior out of Philadelphia. Boulware made the stop, and it's 4th down.
Going to try to get on the board here.
Nick Novak comes into the lineup. 19 of 29 in his career, 3 of 4 this year, and as long as 51. This is a 44-yard attempt. Plenty of distance on this one, and he splits it. So let's take a break. Maryland's on the board at the 4:23 mark. Florida State 30-3.
Skip Barber, Formula One racer, founder of one of America's best racing schools. He knows performance. He lives it. He also knows Quaker State oils are formulated for fine-tuned performance in different engines, like Quaker State Full Synthetic, fine-tuned for advanced engines, for superior protection against harmful deposits, and at extreme high temperatures.
Hey, it's been working for me.
For performance you can count on, Quaker State. Stay tuned.
You have the ultimate power to look better, to be stronger, to redefine your body and yourself. Introducing the Bowflex Ultimate. Gonna make you quite possibly the best home fitness machine ever made. In as little as 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, you can get real results that can change your entire body. With over 90 health club quality exercises and up to 410 pounds of resistance, it's like having an entire gym in your home. Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. Own the new Bowflex Ultimate with no money down and monthly payments lower than many health club dues. Call and ask for a free video and brochure, and check out the entire Bowflex lineup, or visit us on the web today. The new Bowflex for ultimate results.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes I hit a lot of home runs, and sometimes nothing.
Yeah, man, I know what you mean, because sometimes I score a lot of touchdowns, and sometimes I don't.
Yeah, some months I make a lot of phone calls, others not so many.
That's why 10-10-220 is so great.
It's cheap, whether you use a little or a lot.
All calls up to 20 minutes or 99 cents.
It's perfect for me.
Yeah, and sometimes Emmett buys me lunch.
Sometimes Emmett do what?
And sometimes Emmett leaves a big old fat tip.
Dial 10-10-220, then 1 and the number.
Well, we welcome the men and women of the 978th Military Police Company out of Fort Bliss, Texas. They're currently deployed to Soto Cano Air Base in Honduras. And when they're not watching ESPN and the American Forces Network, they're keeping the men and women of Joint Task Force Bravo safe. And we say thanks to you for all that you do. 12 plays and 7:13 off the clock, 56 yards. Maryland obviously would love to have had a touchdown, but at least they get off the snide and get the field goal by Novak. Washington and Thorpe, the two deep men, and here's the kick. And Novak sends this one 1 yard deep, and it's being returned by Thorpe. 15-20. Still on his feet. 35 and out to the 37-yard line. That is a 37-yard return. And there's a timeout. 4:10 left third quarter. Florida State by 27.
Guys. Do that screwdriver too?
Look for him to be getting a lot of touches.
I'm in.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Right, yeah.
Quiet.
So we are back. Florida State quickly out of the huddle and up to the line of scrimmage. Mike, how much longer do you go with your number ones with a 27-point lead? How did you judge that?
Well, I think you got to get through the third quarter, maybe start of the fourth quarter. But again, you want to. There's going to be a game down the way where you got to play 4 quarters. So I'm sure that's a concern of Bobby Bowden's right now. His team has been flat here in the third quarter. Offensively, one drive. Defensively, they held Maryland to a field goal, but had their best drive.
Here comes the blitz off the corner, complete to Bolden, and Anquan fighting his way to the 42-yard line. Wilson makes the stop.
Ron, I think the big question FSU has to ask is who's the backup quarterback. Adrian McPherson has got an ankle injury, so they may want to redshirt him. So Fabian Walker would be the backup guy. I think as long as Chris Ricks is playing well, that's a question Bobby Bowden's got to say or got to answer someday down the road.
Talked to Peter Tom Willis, who does the color on the Seminole radio, and I asked him about that. He said they really haven't had a chance to look at anybody else. Ricks now drills the pass short. Bolden is who he was looking for at the 32. Steve Levy, let's go back to you.
Ron, thank you. Colorado State and Louisville. Some of you are watching it on ESPN2. This is Cecil Sapp, a 1-yard touchdown run, but Cecil taketh and Cecil giveth. They move back down the field. This time Sapp fumbles it away at the 1-yard line. It's 7-0 Colorado State. Ron and Mike.
You and I disagreed on this. I thought Louisville would win this football game. Now it's early in the football game, but I thought Colorado State losing to UCLA last week, BCS, all that. Louisville didn't start the season well, came back last week. I thought Louisville would win that game tonight.
Another big fumble and a huge game of national implications today, and I have a feeling that Lloyd Carr is just going to be frazzled when he sees the video of the Notre Dame supposed touchdown just before halftime, because the ball was out on the 1-yard line and they still gave it to the Irish, and that was a 2-point ball game.
False start, offense, 5 yards. It's still third down.
Where I've been seeing some officials questionable calls is in pass interference. See it every weekend. Not consistent.
Florida State 9 penalties, 61 yards in this ball game. And if you just joined us, we had a heck of a little storm come through here in about midway of the opening quarter. High wind and a lot of rain, and now everything has moved through. But if you wonder why everybody looks soaked, that's the reason. Anderson showing blitz, and now here he comes. They pick him up, though, and Ricks far sideline, in and out of the hands of Robert Morgan. Wow.
It's a veteran offensive line. You talked about the blitz. They gave Chris Ricks time here to throw the football. They pick up everything. Do a good job. He sits in the pocket, throws the ball right on the money to Robert Morgan. Just usually a sure-handed receiver, just couldn't bring it in.
So the second punt as Gwaltney will come out.
They better get a punter back there. No, they got him short.
Yeah. He was lined up on a wing to the left side. And now they shift him back in punt formation. Suter, the lone return man. And this is a really good coverage kick. Very high. Suter dodges the first man. And he's going to go down hard as here comes a flag in from all the way across the field. 50 yards on the kick and 18 on the return. That could be a face mask. They're going to say block in the back. You know, Mike, the next time that Florida State comes on the field, we were just talking about all the youngsters or the number 2 people that they're playing on defense. I looked up just a moment ago and saw big Alex Barron in the ball game. He's a backup at tackle. They think he is as good as the starters right now. Going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Guys, do that screwdriver too.
Look for him to be getting
I'm in.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Right, yeah.
Pliers.
Make it a Bud Light. Dehydration. It can't be predicted. It can be prevented. Nothing has been tested and proven to hydrate athletes better or faster. Gatorade. Is it in you?
Men think about women every 5.3 seconds. Men think about soap? Probably never, because they're all the same, except this one. High-endurance deodorant soap made just for guys. Maybe now women will think about you every 5.3 seconds. From Old Spice.
Her loss made her a rebel.
I had a family.
Only one man can make her a hero. Antonio Banderas, Lucy Liu, Ballistic X vs. Sarah. Rated R. Starts this Friday.
The greatest outdoor show ever is back. New American Sportsman, hosted by Rick Schroeder. Mondays at 8 on ESPN2.
Let's take a look at the Quaker State storyline. 21 Florida State points off 4 Maryland turnovers. Ricks 10 of 17, 199, 2 touchdowns, and he rushed for 1. And Maryland, no touchdowns, 48 yards rushing so far in the game. 3:03 left to play, third quarter. McBrien play action. Here comes pressure. They force him out of the pocket. Back up the middle. Has that one complete. And that is to Rich Parson. He's going to take it all the way out to the 42-yard line. 26 yards in the play. Rufus Brown will make the tackle. And Parson limping a little bit. He's going to come out of the ball game.
Again, Charlie Taff, the offensive coordinator, one of the best in the country, is getting McBrien moving. Throws well on the run.
Big James Lynch is in at fullback. He is 271 pounds out of Washington Dunbar.
He's a load.
He really is. Boy, we watched him in practice on Thursday. And he moves extremely well for a large body, and he is just that, a large body. See how they offsetting. And then he goes out in the pattern, but the pass long and incomplete, intended for Jafar Williams. Leroy Smith with the cover for the Seminoles on the play. That'll stop the clock at 2:25, third quarter. Parson obviously okay, and he checks back into the lineup, and Lynch comes out.
Put some of the backups in now. Eric Powell's in the football game. Backup linebackers. Robert May.
Playing a lot of people. 27-point lead. They can afford to do that. Second down and 10. And here comes the blitz off the corner. Both corners. And they set the screen, and as soon as it is caught, boy, what a recovery. And Chris Downs is finally going to be stopped. He never did go completely down, but Robert May, one of the gentlemen that Mike was just talking about, everybody runs on this team or you don't play.
No, sometimes when you run a screen and you run it against a blitz and man coverage, you got a man on the running back. Like Downs, somebody's assigned to Downs. So when they threw that ball over there, man coverage, sometimes it's tough to run the screen.
And Robert May was that man, and he submarined him. Third down, they need to take it to the Florida State 48-yard line. They're going to blitz again. Hit just as he throws, and it's too high. Jafar Williams, the intended receiver, deep over the middle. Big pressure that time by Augustin at number 40. Young man we talked about, the junior out of Miami.
You talk about the blitz, and I think Mickey Andrews has seen enough of sitting back there and letting McBrien get a hot hand, so he's going to come after him and maybe jar his defensive team a little bit to be more aggressive.
Brooks Bernard, third punt of the night by Maryland. Leon Washington, the deep man. They're coming after him. No return on this one. Punt is not going to turn over, and Washington from the 20-yard line. Well, he got by the first wave, then ran into his own man, and then got belted down by number 10, and that is Williams. So let's take a break. 30-3, Florida State on top.
Coming up on SportsCenter, rivalry renewed in South Bend. The big unit with the season high in Canes, round-by-round scoring of De La Hoya and Vargas. After Florida State and Maryland for SportsCenter.
They just beg, borrow, and deal right there with me, so.
Introducing Beg, Borrow, and Deal, the new reality game show from ESPN.
I'll do anything for the team. We got a plan, but we don't know where we're going.
The begging begins Tuesday, 8 p.m. on ESPN.
Freedom should be accessible to everyone. That's why for a limited time, we're giving you 0% financing for up to 60 months on every 2002 Jeep vehicle. That's 100% of our entire 2002 lineup. And to make 0% financing even better, it's backed by our 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. But hurry, because while Freedom will go on, 0% financing won't. Check one out today.
You bet. Sonny's Feel Good Barbecue. So, 2 all-you-can-eat specials?
You bet.
We get it right, and it tastes so nice.
At Sonny's, we make a big deal out of our all-you-can-eat specials. That's all-you-can-eat barbecue chicken, sliced pork, garlic bread, potatoes, and coleslaw, only $7.49. You'll be back for more.
We'll make you smile at Sonny's. We're gonna make you feel good.
One of the most memorable moments in the last 50 years of the ACC, 1992. Florida State's first year in the conference against Georgia Tech. Trailing in the fourth quarter, it is Charlie Ward inside the 20 to Kes McCorvey, and he goes into the end zone. Florida State coming from behind to win 29-24.
I think what Florida State 50th anniversary of the ACC, but what Florida State's trying to do tonight is send a message that they're back. They're tired of hearing about the ACC championship residing here in Maryland.
By the way, in the third quarter, we have 120 left. 8 plays by Florida State and 16 by Maryland, but they were able only to come away with a field goal. That pass is complete to Reed, and Willie's going to be knocked down at the line of scrimmage by E.J. Henderson. Steve Levy, what do you got for us?
Rod, earlier we showed you Colorado State's touchdown. Well, here's Louisville getting back in the game. Dave Ragone to Dante Spillman. Spillman would be spilled at the 1, and Henry Miller would punch it in from there. They're tied on ESPN2.
And the biggest concern that Ragone has had is the offensive line and protection by them, because they got all new faces there except one. 42 seconds left in the third quarter. Ricks zings this one out and has it complete on the near sideline to Gardner, and Gardner still fighting his way past the first down into the 45.
Just thinking about it, he dropped the easy one, made the tough catch here. Chris Ricks tonight has had a hot hand. He runs the football early in the ball game, picks picks up a first down, comes back and throws a touchdown pass to Bowden on the 1.5-yard line. The fake and threw the ball up for Bowden, and then the quarterback sneak for the touchdown.
Willie Reed and Greg Jones both in the backfield on this set. Blitz coming right up the middle, puts air under this one, holding on the part of the defender.
Yeah, they got it.
And they're going to call it, but the man deep in the middle threw the flag, and the guy right on the play didn't throw his.
He may have not have seen it where he was at because it was the left hand.
But you could see the jersey flare as Williams trying to hold on for dear life. PK Sam had run right by him.
Probably saved a touchdown now. Here's the interference. Chris Ricks again. They'll put the ball up there for the grab, and there's a holding on Williams, number 10. He doesn't agree.
25 ticks left on the clock in the third quarter. Florida State driving again. And he's going to be sacked by Cochran. First time that they have sacked Chris Ricks tonight.
Yeah, Jamal Cochran comes off the edge and just with a speed rush beat the tackle and made the play. Nobody blocks him. Nobody comes out. Chris Ricks.
So that is the end of the third quarter. Let's take a timeout as we head to the final 15. Florida State 30-3.
Beg, Borrow, and Deal premieres Tuesday on ESPN.
Hey, making a click call? Just dial in the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you and cheap for them. What do you say we bail?
Save on every call. Use 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Anyone who loves barbecue knows that chicken's chicken, but the right sauce makes it barbecue. Thick, rich KC Masterpiece with garlic, molasses, onions, and spices. KC Masterpiece, the sauce that makes it barbecue.
Howie, have a seat. Listen.
It's just like a movie theater.
Come to Radio Shack now during the Hollywood in Your Home sale and get an RCA home theater in a box with DVD player for just $299.99. And a 2-room RCA DirecTV system is just $29.99 after a $70 Radio Shack mail-in rebate.
There's just one thing that's missing. A cup holder.
Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Hey, you told me to call? So can I stay for another hour or so? 11. Okay, Mom.
Let your kids be who they are, but know what they're doing.
Man, I'm telling you, Tiki's unstoppable. Come on, dude. Nobody gets past Javon. Oh, yeah? We'll see. Hey, do not mess with the freak.
The NFL equipment jerseys. Just try one on. Tiki Barber scrambling for yardage. Breaks free. Tiki toward the end zone. Curse from out of nowhere. Wow, that's quite a hit. Nothing's built like the new NFL equipment jerseys at Champs Sports.
Better luck next time, Tiki.
I told you nobody gets past Javon.
Mother Nature did part of their wash job for them back in the first quarter. Still some of the red there as the Terp faithful staying here and cheering for their football team. They're down by 27 with 15 minutes to play. Ricks drills this one incomplete, and Anquan Bolden, the intended receiver. Dave Ryan, let's go back to the sideline. What do you have?
Ron, when Florida State coaches watch game film of this one against the Terps tomorrow, they're going to evaluate quarterback Chris Ricks in a three-point system. First, mechanics, including technical aspects, footwork, and ball release. Then, system management, making the proper checks, utilizing protection schemes. And the third is effort, where he's graded out well each time. They remind us he's only a sophomore. He has graded in the mid-60s. They want up in the 70s, and looks like after this game, he'll be grading out pretty well. His best game of the year by far, guys.
Okay, 5 of 12 and third down conversions, and he has missed the last 4. See if they can convert this one.
Pressure again by Maryland, Leon Joe.
Yep, Leon Joe. I tell you, these two linebackers, Henderson and Joe, have just been all over the place. I mean, they have done yeoman work. He has a career high in tackles tonight. Gwaltney lines up over here on the near side, and then he will shift back.
Just something for the defense to work on.
That's right. Now they got to return on. Here's the kick. High hanging spiral. No fair catch is called for. And Suter, boy, is going to be nailed at the 10-yard line. Next Saturday in College Football Saturday, presented by the U.S. Postal Service. Join us down in Miami, where the Boston College Eagles will take on the #1 ranked Miami Hurricanes. The Canes and the Heisman contender Ken Dorsey looking to extend that longest winning streak in the nation, and that stands at 25 right now. Next Saturday, 7:45 Eastern from Miami.
Well, Frank Spaziani's enjoying himself tonight watching this game, because he's not going to enjoy himself this week watching Miami. He's the defensive coordinator for Boston College.
Yeah. McBrien throws this one away, and Alonzo Jackson was all over him. In fact, McBrien is still down in the end zone. Now he's up.
Well, we're going to get to see a fine quarterback next week in Ken Dorsey. Here's his numbers for the year. And I think the biggest number right there, that's the best number. 29-1 as a starter. Larry Coker's not lost a football game as a coach, as a head coach.
It's an amazing number. And with all the folks they had go in the draft last year, hard to believe that they're not having to do some rebuilding. But it doesn't look that way. McBrien sets at the goal line, and that one is thrown incomplete. Steve Levy, will go back to you.
Ron, thank you. We're checking in on Penn State and Nebraska. Michael Robinson on the depth chart as a backup quarterback, looking pretty good as a running back here. 2-point conversion failed. It was 19-7. Jamal Lord trying to get Nebraska down the field. Not this time. Richard Gardner, the pick six. It's 25-7. And they're very happy in Happy Valley.
You and I both thought about Nebraska. They're not as good as, they're not a top 10 team. Not taking anything away from Penn State, but they're not a top 10 team.
McBrien running for his life. Gets it out of harm's way and going to be tackled at the 50. My only comment would be, Lord is so talented, but because he is so talented, his first inclination is to run the football rather than go through his reads and help them out with a passing game of some kind. And you got to have it.
Yeah, I didn't think their offensive line was as good as they've had in the past. I don't think their defensive line is as good as in the past. And this was a big game for Penn State, because if they hold on to win that, it kind of signals their programs back a little bit, but they're beating a team that's not a top 10 football team.
Washington says get away from it, and it takes a huge Maryland bounce. Going to go all the way down inside the 30-yard line. On the stat sheet, it's going to look like a boomer, but 59 yards, and we'll go away for a moment. 30-3, Florida State.
Switch to Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service and give your business the lowest cost shipping on 2- to 3-day packages. You'll save so much with Priority Mail, you'll have enough left over to treat yourself. Spare change. Brought to you by the United States Postal Service.
Need a better way to check out phones? At Best Buy, we've got the brands and plans you want, even the latest like Virgin Mobile and PCS Vision from Sprint. Best Buy. Go ahead, turn on the fun.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
Aflac. The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
The first oil filter ever made back in 1923 wasn't called an oil filter. It was called a Purolator. Today, every car on the road relies on technology pioneered by Purolator. And the same company that invented the oil filter just keeps reinventing it. So that for anyone who cares enough to change their own oil, Purolator continues to mean pure oil then, pure oil now, pure oil later. Now in new Pure Oil packaging.
Well, it's a good look about 30 miles down the road, our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Of course, College Park just to the north and the east of Washington, D.C.
Beautiful building.
Yep, it is. And the beauty of that thing, I think, probably noticed even more by the American population in this past year with everything that has happened. 13:33 left in our ball game. And Chris Ricks continues to operate at quarterback. Fakes it to Jones, whips this pass out, and incomplete. Wow. P.K. Sam was stretched out, and Williams put the lumber on him.
Key play in this football game was right here. Maryland down 13-0. Downs breaks through for the touchdown, but all of a sudden it came back because of this block. And then the game, instead of being 13-7, Florida State scored 20-0. So big play in this football game.
It did turn things around. There's no question about that. And momentum went with it as well. Here goes the big fire. Breaking tackles along the way. He gets hammered down finally by Cox, but not before he had done his damage and picked up about 14 yards.
The Maryland coaches told me Cox will knock you out, and he can't wrap up there. He just levels Greg Jones in the secondary.
And that's leveling a big person at 250 pounds.
Said with that injury, he can't catch the ball, so he can't intercept, but he can tackle.
Short drop this time, and on the quick look-in pass, was it intercepted? It was caught. P.K. Sam. Dave Ryan down on the sideline. They say it's going to be incomplete. Now, Dave, what do you have?
Well, Ron, it certainly looks like Maryland will lose this game, but by the end of the season, perhaps a big award could be going the Terrapins' way. And E.J. Henderson, their great linebacker, courtesy of the folks from the Downtown Athletic Club in Orlando, Florida. The Butkus Award is here. The 3 finalists will be named in mid-November, and the winner goes out December 13th in Orlando. Last year, Henderson was a finalist. The award given to Rocky Kalmus of Oklahoma last year. National media members vote on all the 10 finalists and then down to the final 3 and the eventual winner. And they certainly will like the fact that Henderson has come back for his senior year. So we'll see maybe if a big award is going the Terps' way at the end of this season.
Now, he's certainly a worthy candidate. There's no question about that. Last season, 150 tackles, 6 sacks, ACC Player of the Year. Willie Reed checks back into the lineup, number 26, freshman out of Kathleen, Georgia. Played at Warner Robins. Ricks pressure up the middle, and it's Henderson. Second time that they've sacked him. Henderson got to him first, and then Joe was right there with him to help finish him off.
Pressure. They just moved. Maryland shifted to a different defense before the snap of the ball, and they caught Florida State sleeping on that play. Henderson trying to get that trophy again.
He's the type of player, though. He's such a competitor. He and his teammate Joe, regardless of what the score is, they're always going to be battling you. Waltney, line drive kick, and Suter. That's got to be the halo violation. Flag is down, and Suter's going to take it out of bounds up around the 36-yard line. Newton forced him out of bounds. 37 on the kick and 10 on the return.
We have kick-catching interference, violation of the 2-yard halo by the kicking team. That's a 10-yard penalty. However, there was 10 yards gained on the down. That's declined. First down.
So we'll take a break. 11-14 left in our ball game. Florida State continues to lead by 27.
Express pickup. Wow, what a time saver, Ted. I mean, order stuff online, pick it up right away, and you're gone. Honey, you could have waited in the car. It's like we're barely even in the store. Isn't Express Pickup great?
No. Save time if you want to. Express Pickup. Order online, pick up right away, or we'll ship to you. Circuit City. We're with you.
Can I leave mine?
I'll get it.
Oh, here they are.
He could go all the way. You know what I hate? I hate the nicknames. You didn't know that, did you?
Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
This is your appetite talking, and this is a tasty alert. You're not gonna believe this, baby.
Right now, you can get any 2 subs for just $4. And these are Arby's subs, each with its own great blend of flavors.
That's what I'm talking about.
Choose from hot ham and Swiss, Philly beef and Swiss, or French dip.
Eeny, meeny, miny,
Don't miss any 2 Arby's subs for just $4.
Give in to your grown-up tastes.
We've always gone our own way in the South. How we drive, where we drive, what we drive. The kind of cars, the kind of trucks. Like this Dodge Ram Quad Cab. The only full-size pickup with 4 real doors and a full-size bed. Plus the biggest brakes and wheels in its class. You'll find it down the road a piece at Truckville, your new South Dodge dealer. Grab Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty, plus a $2,000 cash allowance or 0% financing. Ford, Chevy, and Toyota don't match it.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the United States Postal Service.
So the White House, same, about 30 miles from here. Our situation is 11-14 left in the ball game, and McBride has gone to the sidelines. 14 of 26, 2 interceptions, 187 yards, no touchdowns, and he was sacked once. And Chris Kelly is in the lineup.
Yeah, but in fairness to Scott McBride, never did they get a running game going to take any pressure off his throwing ability. Now Kelly's more of an option quarterback.
Here they come with the option. Hurdles one man, going to be caught from behind, and that's where that speed, when the Florida State stretches a play out, they got plenty enough folks that can run it down from behind.
2 interceptions tonight for Scott McBride. Tried to get the football over Pope's hands. Here's a sack by Moore. Under pressure. Being thrown down by Alonzo Jackson in the end zone. A tough night for Scott McBrien.
Killian continues to operate at fullback. In the very first play of the night, he caught a pass out of the backfield and then ripped off a 39-yard gain. Here's pressure, and Kelly is going to be sacked. At the 30-yard line, Robert May got to him first. Third time that they have sacked the Maryland quarterbacks. Hesitate against this group and you're in trouble.
Yeah, Scott McBrien, as you said, 14 out of 26. Good yardage, but the 2 interceptions came at a tough time when FSU was rallying after 3 field goals. Game getting a little sloppy.
We have a dead ball foul, encroachment by the offense. That's 5 yards. It's still third down.
So penalty moves it back to the 24.5.
And if you're a backup quarterback, you don't like the idea of coming off the bench and going 3rd and 16 or 3rd and 21.
Chris Kelly tore an ACL, had surgery. Back really in just over 4 months, which is incredible.
Yeah, it really is. In the Notre Dame game, it's the first game he played since high school. He was hurt in a high school all-star game.
On 3rd down from the shotgun. Whips that pass out of here and throws it complete to Downs. Steve Levy, let's check with you.
We're on Penn State and Nebraska, and it's all Nittany Lions. Michael Robinson, again, listed as the #2 quarterback on the depth chart. That's rushing touchdown #2 on the game. It is all Penn State. Wow.
Well, not surprising because they were at home, but the score is surprising. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Yeah, but Nebraska cannot throw the football, so they can't get back in it.
Now Robinson is the deep man, fumbles the ball, and Maryland has recovered inside the 20. Going to be Williams. Madieu Williams. So Washington has been back there all night for Florida State, and they try.
Yeah, they try to give somebody a new chance and makes a mistake. And Maryland in business now. Now you like, if you're Kelly, Chris Kelly, you like this field position.
So 53 yards on the kick. And Madieu Williams is the man who comes up with the recovery. First time that Maryland has been in the red zone tonight. And it comes by way of a muff of the punt. Not going far, but the handoff is Chris Downs and Dave Ryan on the sideline.
Ron, amazing story with Chris Kelly, the quarterback. A few weeks before reporting to Terps freshman preseason camp a couple years ago, he played in a high school all-star game right here at Byrd Stadium. Tore his ACL and was lost for the season. The next year, before camp started, while vacationing with his family in Ocean City, Maryland, he was hit by a wave on the beach. The same knee, another ACL tear, and more rehab. Then, the spring game this year, tore his other ACL. So, guys, 2 years, 3 ACL tears. He had surgery May 8th and incredibly did not miss a snap of preseason ball and is here playing in this game tonight. Coaches say an incredible motivating factor. His teammates saw what he went through, and he's on the field again for Maryland.
And the coaches talked about that if he would have been healthy in spring ball, he may have been the starter.
So we're going to take a commercial. Matt Crawford is the injured player, the big right tackle for Maryland. We'll be right back.
This place for that kind of money? Not what you need to hear? Then stay here at Super 8. Clean, comfortable rooms because we inspect them more than any major economy chain. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
Mo, let's install Pep Boys Futura tires on every truck on the road.
That's a lot of truck tires, Manny.
Let's roll out Futura Scrambler truck and SUV tires starting at just $49.99 each.
Whoa, at $49.99 each, everyone will have Futura Scramblers.
Pep Boys, we're car people.
Coughing up cards. Easy. Magic wands. No brainer. Furry woodland creature. You want to know what's really magic? That's when Singular takes my unused minutes and makes them reappear the very next month. Oh, now you're impressed.
Rollover, only from Singular.
There they are!
Outback's curbside takeaway. Call up, pull up, and we'll bring it right to your car. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Coming up on SportsCenter, rivalry renewed in South Bend. The big unit with a season high in Canes, round-by-round scoring of De La Hoya and Vargas. After Florida State and Maryland for SportsCenter.
Here's a reminder, coming up next on ESPN is SportsCenter. Dan Patrick and Kevin Frazier. Irish eyes are smiling. De La Hoya and Vargas update. And Penn State, are they back? That and more on SportsCenter immediately following our game here in College Park. Crawford is limping to the locker room, and the big fella has injured a knee. They're going to take him right on in and do some more investigation. Mattis Sr. out of Moravia, New York. Had an excellent game last week. Here comes pressure. They throw the bubble screen, and this is Harrison at the 6-yard line. Latrez finally stopped. The junior out of Atlanta, gain of 12.
Ron, he started at quarterback against FSU in the '99 season. He was rated top quarterback in the state of Georgia. Moved to wide receiver and makes a pretty good move on this play.
First catch of the night. You remember he had one back in the first half and he dropped it. Finally stopped, gain of 12, and it's first and goal for Maryland, 6.5 yards away. That's James Lynch in motion. Then they give it to Downs. Cuts it back, and he will score. So the turnover, the muff of the punt by Robinson of Florida State, and it allows the Terps to get on the scoreboard. A lot of points coming after turnovers tonight, Mike.
And the fans are happy here that Maryland, the backup quarterback, leads them to a touchdown. Downs, who's played well tonight, gets in the end zone.
This is Novak to attempt the extra point. Brooks Bernard, the punter, is the holder, number 16. Knocks it home. Well, this is what led to the touchdown. This is the muff of the punt. So Chris Downs scores the touchdown, and we've got a 30-10 ball game.
You put a lot into getting your car. The least you can do is spend a little more to protect it. Don't settle for anything less than Syntec by Castrol. Its patented technology provides ultimate protection for your engine. Syntec by Castrol. It's the most important thing you can do for your car.
You know, I don't know what my mother calls me more often, Jimmy or... You must be hungry. At her table, there's always a helping of whatever you want as much as you want. Just like Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl. Have Alfredo with penne. Or how about bolognese meat sauce with fettuccine? You pick your homemade sauces, you pick your pastas, you get all you want. Plus, unlimited salad and breadsticks for just $7.95. Tonight, I'm having it with my brother. Mom calls him... Did you eat yet? Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family.
Having quadruplets, we have a very busy schedule, so we shop for everything at Walmart. We get our tires here, too. I can leave the car there for an oil change, new tires, and go shopping. When you're picking out a tire, you need a name brand that you trust, and Walmart carries those, and I know I can trust their prices. We can get our car serviced, get all their toys, and still be home in time for lunch and naps. We have a little sticker on the back of our car that says quadruplets on board. I don't trust my children with just anybody because it's precious cargo.
So Robinson muffed the punt. They don't call it a fumble anymore. They call it a muff. If you don't have possession of it, it's not a fumble. So, and bless his heart, his ball club's up by 20, but he's about the only one that's not celebrating over on the far sideline.
No, he came out of California. He was a top-ranked defensive back, and the coaches like him. They're trying to get him more involved.
This time, Washington and Thorpe are the two deep men as Novak prepares to kick it off. Would you onside here, Mike?
No.
Well, they just did. Look at it, and they battle for it. Looks like Florida State has recovered at the 44-yard line.
Of course, what's the difference? You're 20 behind. And Florida State's going to get good field position here, and we'll see if we see a backup quarterback for them. But I think Ricks is going to go the whole way. Here's the onside.
Didn't go the necessary 10 yards. Florida State only has 49 yards in the second half. O.J. Jackson, a reserve tight end, is the man who made the recovery. As you look at Coach Bowden on the sideline, Coach Bobby Bowden, of course, Jeff is over there as well, his offensive coordinator and his son. Big win for Tommy today.
Yeah, that was a big win against Georgia Tech. They played in the rain.
Ricks rolls the pocket, good contain, and they throw it complete, and that's Gardner. So the numbers on Bobby Bowden. Looks like Joe Pa is going to win tonight, so he will still be 3 behind him, a couple ahead of the Bear.
The race is on. Longevity race.
You know, Mike, that was my next point. I'm not sure ever again in college football you're going to see people with that many years at one institution. Do you?
You forget that with these booster clubs and presidents that
and talk shows
change quick.
And mad columnists. This is Greg Jones, and he breaks it inside the 20, inside the 15-yard line, and now here comes a flag down. Medea Williams is the man who pushed him out of bounds. We'll check the flag before we go back to the studio. And it's going to be a hold on Florida State. Now let's go back to the studio. Steve?
Ron, Mac Brown's return to North Carolina going rather nicely. Chris Sims from 10 yards away connecting with Chad Stevens. Touchdown there. It's 31-14. Final seconds of quarter number 3.
Chad Stevens, a freshman right out of high school that is highly thought of. And they lost their #1 tight end in the preseason warm-ups, and so they're going to need some help at that position. Looks as though the freshman came through tonight with a touchdown. Under 7 minutes left to play third quarter. Florida State now 10 penalties for 71 yards. On the 29. Ricks steps up, gets by one of the defensive linemen at the 20 and is being shoved out of bounds, and he's going to go all the way into the student section before he stops.
And scores from today, Ron, Washington State being beaten by Ohio State. I said a couple weeks ago, if Ohio State gets by this game, their path to the national championship game's wide open. They've got a very easy schedule, and you got to take your hat off to Jim Tressel, but also remember John Cooper recruited most of those players. Notre Dame, you watched that game today.
And Georgia with a tough win over South Carolina, and they are, you know, it may not be pretty yet, but they're all W's, and that's what counts, right? Ricks hit and almost makes the completion to Bolden. And boy, he is shaken up. He is down.
And now you got to make a decision if you're Bobby Bowden. Do you bring Adrian McPherson off the bench, or do you bring Fabian Walker out? McPherson has an ankle injury.
You know, Mike, I don't like the reaction by the crowd here.
No, I don't either.
I mean, they're not trying to run the score up. This kid needs a lot of work. He's far from perfect, and that's the only reason he's in the ball game.
No, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, and they are standing and cheering when the kid goes down with an injury. I'm sorry, that's very poor sportsmanship. Very poor. Ricardo Dickerson is the man who made the hit.
He was wide open when he was throwing that football.
Came down on his shoulder also, didn't he?
Shoulder or rib?
Yeah.
I think he appears to be all right. Talking. I talked to him at the hotel, and he was wearing a Fiesta Bowl hat, and he told me, he said, they want to stay focused because that's where we want to go. And he talked about E.J. Henderson's hit on him last year. He said, my neck still hurts.
Mike, was that a 911 that he had on his wrist? It looked like it on his right wristband.
It's the last year's hit.
Joe and Henderson. Henderson's the one that finished him off, but then he came back and really played well, and he trots off the field under his own steam. And Fabian Walker, a sophomore out of Americus, Georgia's in.
Here's what tells me this. Then Adrian McPherson's going to get redshirted probably because he's hurt. So he's got an ankle injury. So Fabian Walker is going to be the second-team quarterback.
Turns and gives it to Greg Jones. Has 5 yards. Puts his head down. Now has 10 and counted off at about 11. And Williams, who has been outstanding, as well as those linebackers tonight. Medea Williams is over there to make the stop. That is 9-11 on his wristband there.
It's good to come in, be a backup quarterback, and have Greg Jones in the lineup. Just hand off. Go, big guy.
3rd down and 2. Walker gives it to him again, and he slashes off right tackle. He's headed for the end zone, and he will score. What an effort by Greg Jones.
Hand it off and watch him go in the end zone.
Gain of 10 yards. Jones now, he was over 100 yards, or that put him over 100 yards on that carry right there. 21 for 106.
He's in the Heisman race too. He's one of the names you'll hear all year.
Bethea to attempt the extra point, trying to make it a 37-10 ball game with 6:15 remaining. And Bethea knocks it home, so with 6 minutes 15 seconds left in our ball game, our new score: the Seminoles 37 and the Terps 10. Let's take a break.
One video is making the biggest splash on VHS and DVD. Van Wilder, starring Ryan Reynolds and Tara Reid. Don't let this opportunity slip away. National Lampoon's Van Wilder. Buy it today.
Men think about women every 5.3 seconds. Men think about soap? Probably never, because they're all the same, except this one. High-endurance deodorant soap made just for guys. Maybe now women will think about you every 5.3 seconds. From Old Spice.
Jones receiving congratulations from his teammates on the sideline. Over 100 yards in this ball game for the big fella. 21 for 106, and he scored a touchdown. 5 consecutive 100-yard games. And as we mentioned, they give you such a 1-2 punch because then they can come back with Maddox, who is more of a slasher, about 195 pounds.
And remember Ricks, because he's a good runner from the quarterback position.
Sports Center coming up immediately following our ball game, and that's 6 minutes and 15 seconds from now. Sooner the deep man And it is going to go 3 yards deep in the end zone. Dave Ryan, now you got an update on Ricks and his condition.
Yeah, good news for Florida State and Chris Ricks. Just a right elbow bruise. His elbow following through on that last pass got banged up a bit, but trainers say he can return. Not sure if he needs to, though, with a big lead here by 27 in the fourth quarter.
Okay. Good hustle there, Dave. They're attending to it, probably getting ready to encase it in ice.
Pretty good evening. 13 out of 25, 2 touchdowns, no INTs. Ran the football well first quarter. Sure Jeff Bowden will give him a better grade than C this week.
Option play. And Kelly got by the first tackler, but not the second, third, and fourth. And Steve Levy. Let's go back to the studio.
Ron, thank you. Updating Texas and North Carolina. And some offense from Darian Durant connecting with Sam Aiken going high in the air for the 15-yard scoring pass, and it's a 10-point game.
I can tell you Carl Reese is not very pleased over that situation. He's much like Mickey Andrews in the fact that he doesn't like giving up a point. He doesn't care how many points the offense has scored. Just under 5.5 minutes left to play. Kelly has this one complete. That's Lynch, the fullback. And he got hit immediately and knocked down. We talked about Ohio State, and let's take a look at that schedule that you were.
Yeah, now tell me, this is a great schedule. I mean, you've got an open door to the national championship. Who's going to beat them?
National championship game.
National championship game. Now there's Miami out there and then some other teams, but who's going to beat them? They got Cincinnati. They'll be favored of them. Indiana, Northwestern, San Jose. Do you know the way to San Jose? They'll get them. They got to go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin barely beat Northern Illinois today. Penn State at home, Michigan at home. They don't play Michigan State. Of course, they look bad today, too.
Well, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, just went right through his mitts. And tipping the ball was Leroy Smith. He may have had a lot to do with that incompletion as well. Derek Finner, redshirt freshman out of Hampton, Virginia, was the man that the pass was intended for. You know, conference games.
Yeah, but they're set. But they're set. They got all the tough ones at home.
And a timeout has been called by Florida State. Well, this season, the NCAA increased the number of regular season games from 11 to 12. And for the Seminoles, the addition of a 13th game and a bowl game creates for one long season.
Well, this is the first time we've been through this many games. You know, we're going to play 14 games this year, and I'm already against it. You know, I'm thinking 11's enough. 11 and a bowl's enough. That's kind of the way I feel right now. I'm thinking it's about a 2-year trial, you know, and I personally would vote for going back to 11-game schedule plus a bowl. And I think it'll go that way, but you can never tell.
Well, it is a lot. I mean, it's, you know, we kept hearing from administrators and academicians that, you know, you can't have a national playoff because it would take too many weeks away from the classroom. Well, good heavens, what's this year taking?
Yeah, you should have 11 games and play them every week, and nobody has an open date to prepare for somebody. South Carolina last week, you get Atkinson hurt. They're playing. Georgia's sitting at home, so Georgia's got an advantage this week. I'd like to see everybody play the same games, same weeks.
Well, I agree with you. Sports Center coming up next. This is an end-over-end kick. Takes a big Maryland bounce, and now Washington gathers it in, and Leon crosses the 40, now the 45. Over midfield and inside the 45-yard line. Here's Florida State's schedule. 51 yards on a kick and 36 on a return.
Pretty good schedule. Now they got to go to Louisville. Louisville get better. I think Clemson's a better football team than everybody thinks. Miami, of course, they got to go there. Notre Dame 3-0. Right now, NC State rolling along, getting a lot of passing yards out of Phillip Rivers.
So if you want to check on that, ESPN.com, and the keyword is Florida State.
They have a good schedule, too. Oklahoma, Ohio State, Florida State. Best 3 schedules.
Walker going to throw his first pass, and he goes on top. Line drive, and it is caught at the 5-yard line by Thorpe. Crefonzo Thorpe makes the reception, and it's 39 yards in the pass play. Cox couldn't hold up.
Yeah, here are a few boos here, but you got to get Fabian Walker ready in case something happens to Chris Ricks, so you got to let him throw the football to Thorpe. Good catch, good throw. Cox again being picked on.
So it's 1st and goal. The ball at the 5-yard line. Walker goes with the running play at the 3-2-1. Ball is fumbled. Looks as though Maryland has recovered. Clayton was the ball carrier, and it's a touchback. He did fumble it, and Maryland takes over at the 20-yard line.
That's one, if they weren't winning big, he would get to coach's wrath, and he might still get to coach's wrath, but that's almost comical. He was wide open to go in the end zone, just couldn't. Started to trip and fumbled the football.
Randy Starks made the recovery for the touchback.
Ran into his lineman. He's begging and he's crawling to try to get to that football. Watch the crawl start here. And then he kicks it.
And that thing is an odd shape and bounces in strange directions when you want to get on top of it. Devontre Holland talking to the youngster and trying to console him a little bit. He and Robinson both are going to need some consoling headed back home, because it's just, you don't want to mess up. You want to play, and when you get a chance, you want to play well. Kelly hands the ball off, and he'll go straight ahead for 3 yards to Chris Downs. Coming up next on ESPN, Dan Patrick and Kevin Frazier. Irish eyes are smiling. De La Hoya and Vargas updated. Penn State, are they back? Looks as though they're going to have a big win tonight over Nebraska up in Nittany Valley. Florida State 422 total yards in the night, 262 for Maryland. Now make it 265. Kelly out in the flat. This is Suter. 30, 35. Oh, he got popped good as he was being spun around and knocked out of bounds. That's a good, tough kid. I like him a lot. We watched him in practice, and Suter works extremely hard. And you realize when the coaches say 4.35 in the 40, but he pops right back up. He takes a lot of tough licks.
Yeah, he made some big catches in practice on Thursday.
Yeah, he did. Some big time.
Great hands.
Kyler Hall is the man who hit him and knocked him out of bounds, but it moves the chains. We have 3:02 left in our ball game. Kelly going to go on top, and there's a lot of pushing and shoving. Who caught it? It is being intercepted by Florida State, and that's number 8, McFadden. 5 turnovers on the part of Maryland tonight. Jafar Williams was the intended receiver.
Yeah, Brian McFadden's going to sit back here, and it almost looked like a catch by both players here. But he just used his muscle to get it away from Williams. 5th turnover for the Terps.
5-2 in the turnover department. Mike, what do you say if you're Ralph? Do you think his team?
I think they fought hard in the second half.
Okay,
and I think that's all you can ask.
Okay.
They got beat by a better team. They didn't run the football. They don't have Perry. Nobody's making any excuses around here. I think they'll be back. They got the best part of their schedule coming up.
Yeah, straight ahead with the running play. I think Maryland had what? They won the second half 10-7.
Yep.
Not that has anything to do with anything.
Not a consolation.
Yeah.
Miami beats Temple. Texas still going on. Oklahoma still going on with UTEP. And UTEP would like to get that over. Tennessee's idle. FSU looked pretty good to me tonight, Ron. They still have some lapses. Michigan loses. Nebraska didn't belong in the top 10. Ohio State's going to move way up. Virginia Tech's pretty good football team.
I think they're very good. Ball is kicked around by Walker. And in fact, I know that all eyes are going to be looking at that first weekend in December when they play down at Miami. If they continue to improve the way they look as though they are going to, Mike, because they're still young, really young. I think they got a shot at Miami, even though it is down in the Orange Bowl.
Well, they got a tough game this week, A&M.
A&M.
At A&M,
yeah.
but A&M's offensively.
I'm not forgetting all of those.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
I know you aren't. I know it. But A&M has to find some offense if they're going to beat Virginia Tech.
Well, that crowd down there just continues to chant, Red G, Red G. I don't know if the freshman's going to wind up getting that job or not. Walker going to scramble. Wow. 15, 20, 25. And doesn't have the first down, but he looked really good in eluding that defender on a 14-yard run. D'Qwell Jackson finally put a stop on him. And we have 1:25 left in our ball game.
Yeah, we talked about coming in here. Florida State is tired of hearing about Miami, and they're tired of hearing about the ACC championship here. So they made a statement tonight. They beat a pretty good Maryland team on the road. They get, I believe, Duke next. So Bobby's feeling pretty good about his run. You know, you talked about the 14-game schedule that he could have, he will have. Coaches have told me he's called around to pro football coaches and said, how do you handle a long season? And when the focus on the Iowa State game and Virginia late in the game, it's a long season. So he's trying to figure out how to practice, how to taper off, how to do some things different.
Dave Ryan down on the sideline. What you got for us?
Well, Ron and Mike, Ralph Friedgen played here in the 1960s, so he's really trying to bring back a lot of the history to this Maryland football program. Keep in mind, in the 50s, as we mentioned, they had the only national championship here in College Park, 1953. To commemorate that part of the football history, Ralph Friedgen changed the uniforms for a second time in 3 years. The helmets remain the same, but now stripes have been added to the shoulders and pants, trying to bring back that 50s feel. That 53 team, by the way, allowed 38 points total in a 10-1 season. And talk about the incredible turnaround of the program here. Season ticket sales have gone up 9,000 in 1 year. Students normally seen lining up to watch Gary Williams' team play basketball are waiting for football tickets. And Ralph Friedgen's weekly breakfast has gone from 80 people attending to 800. They've had to move the breakfast to accommodate all the fans. Program's on the rise.
Chris Hall punted that time in place of Gwaltney. That ball goes out of bounds just inside the 40. Let's take a look at the remaining part of the schedule for Maryland.
Yeah, they get a good path right here. Eastern Michigan, Wofford, and West Virginia looks like they are winning tonight, so they got to go there. But then they get into the tough part of their schedule down the way. But this is a team that can win 8 games, 9 games with this 13-game schedule. We talked about the expectations are high. Ralph said, he talked to us this summer. He said, everywhere I go, people wave at me, and I'll be driving on the freeway, and they'll say, you're number one. You and I talked about that can change quick. They can be signaling you other things if you don't win.
Ralph's going to do great here. You know, you got to recruit. They pass complete at the 44 to Monroe. But well, not just saying it. You know, every place he's been, Mike, whether it's in the pros or in the colleges, you know, his offense is just a booger to have to deal with because he has so many things with the option and a pro set offense. And, you know, I think he'll recruit well here, and it obviously takes some time.
Well, we talked about new center, new quarterback, new tailback tonight. So that's not a good opponent to have those 3 spots new. And they get Perry back. They'll be all right.
Maryland calls a timeout with 43 seconds left. So we'll take the break with them. 37-10, Florida State.
Your buddy has had a bit too much to drink. Everyone at the party is looking away, but not you. You get involved. You take away his car keys, and you get him home safely. So you miss a party. It sure beats missing a friend.
So we're back. 43 seconds showing on the clock. A reminder coming up in 43 seconds. Sports Center And a lot of things to talk about in the world of sports today. Sunday Night Football on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern. Rich Gannon and the Oakland Raiders head to Pittsburgh. Coverage begins with NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite, 7:30 Eastern. And for more on upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com, and the keyword is schedule.
I think FSU's got to feel good tonight, Ron. They got an away game, didn't get anybody hurt.
Blitz up the middle. Pass here is way too far.
Got some great effort out of their defense early in the football game. Chris Ricks improved as a quarterback. Greg Jones got his 100 yards again. Maddox got on the field. Bolden really became the big player that set the scoring up early.
Downs 12 carries for 50 yards for him. We look at some of the Maryland numbers. On 4th down, the pass by Kelly, got it over the middle, and there's Suter. So that'll stop the clock momentarily as they move the chains. 30 ticks left up there. Kelly throws it to Suter right over the middle.
Kelly's playing well here in the aftermath.
Runs up, going to have to run this one beyond the line of scrimmage. Steps out of bounds, 20 seconds left. So we wish Ralph Friedgen a lot of luck, not only on the field, but in the dining room. He's lost 44 pounds, trying to lose 100, and if he does, going to get a donation of $100,000, which he's not going to keep himself, going to give back to the program. I asked him, I said, are you going to lose it? And he said, yes, I'm going to lose it. There's no question about it. At night, he doesn't go to the chow hall. He goes back to his office where he has a microwave and a George Foreman cooker, and either puts chicken or steak in there, cooks it, and tries to watch what he eats.
George got some publicity.
Oh, here comes pressure on Kelly, and he's going to be thrown down. No flag will come. We only got 15 seconds left in this ball game, and
this is the best recipe for losing weight as a coach, because when you go home, you're sick. You're sick to your stomach. You don't want to eat. You want to pass out.
Well, a reminder for those of you who have just joined us or not real smart, Sports Center is coming up next.
Coaches go to bed. They just go to sleep and figure that I've had a nightmare.
It has been that way for Maryland tonight, but Florida State can do that to you, and particularly when you're playing a first-time quarterback. It's just difficult. Kelly, pressure from the backside, and they're going to sack him. Kevin Emanuel got him, and he called a timeout with 4 seconds left.
Well, they didn't get the word to the fireworks people. They started their fireworks. It's been a bad night here in Maryland. Even the fireworks guys off 4 seconds.
Well, I guess it's part of the Seminole celebration, and to wake up those who might have drifted off here. So 4 ticks left. So Kelly will go from the shotgun.
First time I've seen fireworks during a game.
I know it, particularly when you're getting beat this badly. But, you know, whatever. Kelly going to go for the end zone. Hail Mary. Ball is tipped, and I believe it's intercepted by Florida State. It has been. Picked off by McFadden. So the final score Florida State 37 and Maryland 10. Coming up next is SportsCenter. For more on our upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com and the keyword is schedule. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. 6 turnovers against the Terps tonight, and they lose it. Good night from College Park.